I don't know if Neil appreciates your name for him.
It's like the best I get. It's like all Father Tesh and
Neil
new bone meal.
is- Here.
I'm okay with All Father.
Oh, no.
It just like, can we confirm that Viking has like a daddy thing going on there? Like all Father Tesh, Baronland's daddy Jake.
Wait, was that? I don't know if that was Viking that said it.
It was.
Oh, Viking. I'm sorry. I was thinking Norway for some reason. I was thinking Norway, the actual Viking, versus Viking Viggo.
Norway is about as far as you can get from a Viking.
He's in Norway. That's
Like
literally that is the motherland of Vikings.
He'd sail to your shore, and he'd go,
I brought
"Excuse
bread.
me, may I step upon thine land?"
So
upon receiving permission, would supply gifts.
So I used to, my friend Keith, I used to play D&D with, there we go. My friend Keith and I would play D&D a long time ago. He's one with the two daughters that, whatever.
Your buddy Keith, yeah.
My buddy Keith. So he, when he used to play at night, because in the 3.5 in the second PHB, there was a character you could play called Knight. And there was supposed to be lawful, right? They could be good, neutral, evil, whatever, but very lawful. And so he played what you would call like lawful stupid. He would be like, all right, we're going to attack the camp of, let's say, goblins. And he would literally announce it. He'd be like, we are giving you a warning here and now. The rogue who was sneaking around back was like, motherfucker. It was just this fun. It was really, really funny. It was the last character he ever played in like a full campaign.
To be fair, in an Austrian campaign, our group walked towards a camp of werewolves playing the bagpipes, and it worked.
Wait, because
Like,
like
they were-
how
They parlayed with us because we were playing the bagpipes, and they were so confused.
it's just an insult to the bagpipe. Just sounds like a howling animal. Don't get me wrong. The bagpipe is not a nice instrument. Again, I grew up in and around Boston. No, I grew up in and around Boston. All of our funerals, like anytime somebody in the police force has a funeral, whether it be on duty or off duty, they all have bagpipes. That's part of the culture.
Okay, well,
because we're very
part
Irish.
of a bagpipe marching band, and it actually can be pretty good when it's done well.
You and I might have different ideas of good. For instance, Marmite doesn't sound good to me.
I don't like Marmite.
Vegemite also doesn't sound good to me. But you know what I'm saying.
We'll put it this way: there were some of the songs that we do that were literally requested at like end of year ceremonies by students because they were actually like favorites.
It's very warm here today, so I think my camera's just going to remain slightly fuzzy.
Okay.
As it slowly gives up life.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you could start from the top, I almost said Norway. Tesh, what were you saying?
Oh,
I was distracted by his hand. So
there were literally like certain songs that we played that were popular enough that people would request them for end of year ceremonies and stuff, like students would.
That's funny. So like if somebody was like, "Can you play Green Day?"
It was actually, I'm pretty sure there was a Green Day song that they played with the actual, like with a normal band alongside, and it actually sounded pretty cool.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Though, are there any famous Australian musicians? Like, I don't mean like in orchestras, because you guys have that awesome thing at Sydney, so I'm sure you have lots of beautiful orchestra people, like violinists and cellists and whatnot. But do you guys have any famous, like, worldwide famous musicians?
I wouldn't be the person to tell you if that was the case.
Okay.
Bands?
We do.
Like,
we definitely do, actually. I'm sure we do.
Iggy Azalea.
No, there definitely is.
That's what your country's known for.
Mental blanking on names, but there's a couple bands that
Right,
are
I'm going to Google it. Australian.
I was gonna say, because I know like England's been struggling since the Spice Girls. Like after the Spice Girls, were like, you can keep it to yourself now.
Yeah,
but
them.
Kylie Minogue.
I've no idea who that is.
AC/DC.
Wait, AC/DC's out of
Akadaka.
Australia?
Yeah.
You didn't
Sia?
know that?
No, I actually
Sia
didn't
is
know
as-
that.
Sia is as well.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know
There
who
you
Sia
go.
is.
Yeah.
I just
European.
ACDC.
Yes,
I
you do.
assumed England. You know, like they had the accent. I just assumed England. I was a kid.
Rolf Harris.
America tried to steal them.
We did steal them.
Yeah, they pronounce it Akadaka. It's actually true. That is true.
Wait, ACDC. They pronounce it Akadaka.
Well, not pronounced, but Akadaka is a nickname.
Oh, okay. I just know Great Balls of Fire and a bunch of other awesome songs. Wait, Great Balls of Fire. No,
Scott.
no, hold on.
So the boys and I have got
Balls
a
of
challenge for
Fire.
you.
it's not Great Balls of Fire. That's a different band. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We got a challenge for you, Scott. So today we're challenging you to give the recap because we don't think you're capable of it.
That's fair. Give me a second. It was 2 weeks ago, so just give me a moment to rub my brain.
Wasn't it 3 weeks?
Okay, I'll pay that. The Wiggles as well.
Why don't I know the Wiggles are? God damn it. Hold on. Last week, we started with you guys are still in the middle of the boat fight.
Yeah.
You finished
Yeah?
the boat fight. You freed the boat from being entangled with ropes and knocked down trees.
Mhm.
You went all Wolfman on the caster, and then you
Slightly out of-
stood over his body, growling at the skies, being like, "You'll take none of this treasure from me, Dungeon Master." And
He pulled off
Okay,
his
that's
shoes before he murdered him. Yeah.
you opened the book. We laughed at you. After you guys,
In opening the book, I want to tell you, you had to give me, like, I've been wanting to get a book. You had to give me like an evocation book that I can't use any of the stuff in it apart from one spell. So thank you for that.
you're welcome.
It's useless. It's a useless book.
After all that effort.
I'm sorry.
Couldn't have
is
been
that-
transmutation or like something else. It had to be evocation. Thanks.
Well, 2 points. One, is evocation not more appropriate for a group of we'll call them mercenaries? And two, is that one spell you got out of there not incredibly powerful?
It is, but I can't get it yet. I don't have level 3 slots.
So what you
I
mean
just
to
have
say
hide
is,
the book.
thank you, Scott, for giving me a book with incredibly powerful spell inside of it that I'm able to use.
Maybe that's Scott's way of
Eventually.
telling us that we've leveled.
No.
I think we should just go ahead and level. I'm willing to presume. I think let's just go ahead and roll hit dice, guys. Come
I
on.
think you can
Well,
use.
okay, then.
I think you can use hypnotism.
I can't. I looked it up.
And if you use those other ones as potions as opposed to infusions or whatever you call your shits, some of those can actually be made as potions, just ones you don't want to drink. Like you really don't want to drink a potion of shocking grasp because that would just like hurt you. You know,
You
but if
sure?
Can't. I don't think I can make them into that.
Some people pay for that service.
no, that's,
You don't drink it by the mouth.
well, you know, a suppository of
Oh.
shocking grasp, you know. Okay. So anyways, moving on. After you guys left there, you then went to the town. You got a little bit of information
What town, Scott?
and the capital.
No,
Well,
this
let's
was
get the
after
map.
the capital. We've already
Oh,
been
that's
to
right.
the
That's right. You guys, my apologies. You had already gone to the capital, which was a quick trip, anyways. You had gone through. You're not in Renetslav yet. You're going to the other one. I can't remember the name of it because I don't have the map open, but that's fine. The one that has with what's her name in it, Lady Greyaris, and you eventually made your way over to meet with Lady Greyaris herself, and we ended with you actually going into her home. She opened the door and said, "Welcome," and we kind of just stopped it there.
Yeah, we just arrived at the door.
Yeah. So that's where we
Well
were.
done. Well done. You missed one bit. We hired the crossbowmen.
Yeah. They escorted you there, and all of them except for one stayed at the line to keep back the rebellious people of the town, and the one stayed up by the door, just kind of like overlook things up there for you. I was trying to see if I could find the this one song from Destiny sounds too much like Baldur's Gate for my sensibilities. It's just distracting. Like it sounds very much like the OG Baldur's Gate song. All right, I gotta find the name of that town though, because it's gonna bother me if I don't get it. So 1 second while I find it.
Well, that's the finale song. That's the final boss fight.
It sounds a lot like Baldur's Gate.
Well, looks like we know what we're going into,
uplifting.
Tesh. Get ready for combat.
Okay, good to know.
Finally kill Lady Greyress. It's been a long time coming.
What is it?
Oops, assassination.
Strandano? Strandano, not to be confused with Stalingrad. R.I.P. Stalingrad. Strandano.
Strandano, okay.
Hey, Arts.
All right, yes. And as Norway said, a singed and recently repaired home, but a fancy door. There's a fancy door on it.
I have a question. People
Yes, sir.
died in that raid. Does that mean there's some of those Stalingrad crossbows, without an owner on the ship?
Yeah, but they don't belong to you.
Yeah, but that's fine. I'll just
Yeah.
take it anyway.
Yeah, but if you take it, which the person that commands them would tell you, no, this needs to be returned.
Okay, so what you're saying is when we get to where we're going, I'll just turn invisible, I'll take one, and then leave.
Only if you're
To be
willing
fair,
to accept the fact.
Actually, legally at this time, he's welcome to take one because we've paid for 15 crossbowmen.
So if you take one and it doesn't return home with him, I'm sure someone's going to receive punishment for goods under their protection.
You're
not being
assuming he's returning
properly.
home.
That's true.
Oh, didn't you know that guy also fell off the ship into the water and the crossbow floated away downstream? That's how I remember it.
Those crossbows are worth more than one person falling into the ocean, into the river's life. Better send other people in to go get it.
And they did, and that's why more people died, and their crossbows also went.
Maybe we should rethink our tactics. Awesome. So, where is the, okay, so you guys go walking in. So I just have to get into the mindset of a kind and pleasant, well-intentioned, and warm, old lady. So, the door opens up, and the door opens up and she says, "Oh, welcome." Now, if I remember correctly, you did not arrange a meeting, correct? You just came to kind of like see what the hell was going on in this direction.
Chamber Corn.
Okay.
Now, everyone, what was your made-up names?
Bluey.
I know there's Bandit and Bluey, and I actually
I'm
remember what
Bandit.
Neil called me now.
What are they?
Magpie.
That's what it was.
That's it, yeah.
That's right. Bandit, Bluey, and Magpie. Oh, it just makes me so happy. So
I just realized the irony of calling him Bluey, and I'm the person who turns into a blue crystal.
it's funny. I still in my mind see it as like an orangish red crystal, like a red
No,
crystal with
I-
a slight orange tinge to it. It's just
I
my
can
brain.
actually, out of nowhere, just by chance, Destiny added armor with the exact color crystal like I'm imagining, so I can actually bring up a picture and send it to you.
Thank you, Green. That's canon now. I did sneak a crossbow. Thanks.
You did not get Green's permission. He is not the
I
DM
did.
here.
Yeah,
Listen,
no,
he is
that
not the
quite-
DM here.
That's
Canon.
quite
He's
clearly
not the
Canon.
DM
Thank
here.
you.
That's how that works. If Green wants to fortune's favor you with Stalingrad, he could do that. But in the meanwhile, that is not canon
I'm sorry,
here.
but a Stalingrad is not a fortune's favor. That's not an appropriate.
Excuse me, what if it's a +1 Stalingrad?
I would accept a +2.
You don't even know what a Stalingrad is, so you shut
Yeah.
your mouth.
Look, I'm just saying.
Is that a repeating crossbow?
I'm just saying.
No.
No,
You can make
exactly.
one.
I'm just saying a trump card dropped down 2,000 extra troops. A +1 crossbow is not worth 2,000. Like, can you imagine? Like the guy just like, I want one hell of a crossbow.
The numbers of that whole war bother the hell out of me. I went about it poorly. So I'm hard changing the numbers that I use in battles now, which makes more sense. All right, so back to the game. So she opens the door and she says, "Oh, welcome. I wasn't expecting visitors. Please come in."
Yep. We'll go in there.
So when you go in,
And this is where Tristan's gonna take point.
well, when you guys go,
There's just a weird feeling that he should talk to her.
This one's on you, mate. Why don't you check her shoes?
I should.
I was like,
Excuse me one moment.
why?
Because of you, Scott. Because of you.
I remember. So anyways, yeah, the what the hell was I gonna say? God damn it. Oh yeah. So you guys go walking in, and one of the first things you notice after she says, "Please come in," and she actually welcomes you in, is while the house on the outside is a genuinely very fancy house that recently attacked a bunch, and if the grounds out there are genuinely like well-made grounds, there's like a whole stone area out back where an entertainment space would exist, and like stone table and benches and whatnot that overlook the lake. There's like the whole house is on like a prime location. And the whole thing, until the recent attacks have torn up the ground and whatnot, you could tell that the quality of grass that they had there is very healthy, was very well maintained until recently. The house on the outside was gorgeous and everything, well maintained until recently. You go into the inside, and that's not entirely true any longer, unfortunately. The inside of the home is well, it looks like at one point in time it was probably maintained well and seen as a very like wealthy estate, but that has many years since passed in the way it's been maintained. For instance, if there's wallpaper on a wall, it's curling up in the corners. It's not fresh by any means. The banister, which obviously people will use going up and down, it's been a long time since it's been properly sanded and restained. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of scuff marks on it. The floors themselves, they have not been properly maintained either. With the number of boots and whatnot kind of going in and out, there's a bunch of scuff marks that are maintained on there. And you'll notice that pretty much everywhere throughout the house. That while this is certainly a fancy home on the outside, the inside at one point in time may have been fancy, but it has not been appropriately worked on for a good number of years.
It's like Scott in House form.
Yeah. I know I look good out here, but on the inside, it's diabetes, heart disease.
It's lack of sleep. It's not doing you any favors.
Yeah. I actually got decent sleep last night. The issue was that I was up super early yesterday for Rory's first day of school. So, I had an alarm set this morning too, but apparently I chose the wrong alarm. I chose a different. I'll look it up afterwards. So it didn't make like the right noises. It was too quiet. It was like
It didn't make the right noise.
Like to the point where literally while the alarm was, it was under my pillow. While the alarm was going off, Brittany walked into the room because she was getting ready for school, and she's like, "Dude, you need to get up. Did you set an alarm?" I was like, "What? Yeah, I set an alarm. What time is it?" I go to reach my phone, I pull it out, and the alarm was going off. We just couldn't hear it because I was soft of a tone.
Why'd you put it under your pillow? Do you not have like a bedside table?
I always just put it under my pillow. Well, let me correct that. Usually I listen to stuff while I fall asleep, so I have it under my pillow with headphones in. But that doesn't matter because it's loud.
Can't put it under your pillow anymore.
Why?
You had your first vaccine, haven't you?
It had both.
It'll interfere with the microchips, the nanites.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Come on.
I'm fine with that.
I knew where he was going immediately.
I was like, what? All right, moving on. So you can see that this is about the quality of the inside of the home. So as soon as the door shuts behind you, she turns to you and says, you have me at a bit of a disadvantage. I don't know who any of you are or why it is that you're visiting. So please, if you care to introduce yourselves.
Saying, shut the door.
That was what I said.
Yeah, you muted. I could just lip read.
Bedtime, kids. All right. So, anyways,
You don't want to hear Daddy swearing. Daddy's got to talk to the bed lady. I'm
The
sorry.
fuck was that accent?
That was
Sounded
clearly
Australian to me.
Yeah.
Or South African. It worked for me.
Yeah, it sounded more South Africa.
they're about the same location, right?
Whoa. There are a lot of Australians that have that nasally accent. I bet Viking has that nasally Australian accent. You know what I mean? You know, that pub accent. You know,
He's
like
just
a dingo ate my baby.
I
Like
don't
that
know a
nasally.
single
Oh,
person
Jesus.
I was gonna say I've
with that
never
nasally-
spoke to anyone that's.
I
spoke
don't
like
know a
that.
single person with that nasally accent.
I hear it on TV. It must be true.
Oh, TV, huh?
Why do you have
Listen.
such a horrible background, by the way?
If you, it's for Monday night. If you guys watch TV and you think that must be Americans, the answer is that's true. So I'm going to assume that's the case for other countries as well.
Yeah, sure. She said, I am at a disadvantage. It appears you know my name, but I don't know yours. And then she like opened her fan and like fluttered it in front of her mouth to hide her little girlish giggle.
She has no fan and she didn't giggle. But otherwise, yes. So we're waiting for a response from you boys. Probably Jake, who I think is talking to his daughter. No.
He's struggling to recover after I sent him into a coughing fit with that Lady Greyris impression. That's my next character, by the way, guys. Going to be playing Lady Greyris.
Yeah, but in the Sci-Fi campaign. Maybe Lady
Yeah.
Greyris with a gun.
Greyris with a gun.
I don't know what woman you think you're dealing with, but die, cunt.
She's going to have a blink ability. She like clicks her little ruby boots together and blinks behind them and then just blasts them with a some sort of futuristic shotgun. An interactive,
Right.
insulting experience. Whoa! There's been no mention of Thronekeeper, Josh. We don't talk about the Forbidden Game.
Remember, Josh, you're not a part of the campaign anymore. You're not part of the campaign anymore. You can throw shade and they can't do nothing back.
But if you wanted to be a part of the campaign, sort your life out and come join us for a few sessions on here, Josh. It'd be cool. That'd be fun.
All right, so Jake, your response to her.
Why am I responding?
Because you're the CO.
You're the merchant. Like, I guess the bodyguard
God.
responded with, "Hi, my name is Bandit."
You wanted this,
They could.
Jake.
You wanted this. I was ready to get back on the boat. And then Tristan was like, I think we should talk with this
I don't
woman.
even know what I said. It was just out of bullshit.
I don't know what.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Bluey would look at Magpie.
Oh, his names.
I can't.
Today is going to be a long session.
I have to introduce myself as fucking Magpie. I keep getting ready to do this dumbass accent.
You don't need to do an accent.
I know I don't. But it just I can't call myself Magpie.
Do it full-blown Southern American.
Oh god.
Not South American, like Southern American.
Like Providence. Like old Prov.
Be like, well now, hear me here, lady. Like,
You don't have to do an accent.
I don't want to.
so which accent you going with?
I'm talking normally. All right.
This is our first and only chance to get Jake to roleplay with an accent. We have to apply pressure, chat. Apply pressure.
No,
Make him uncomfortable.
Stop, you're gonna make this take longer.
All right. They call me Magpie, and then he'd say, and these are my two guards, Bandit and Bluey. We're passing through, and stopped for supplies. One of the boys on the boat suggested maybe you might want to do some business with us. We're going north. I'm a maker of potions, and judging by the crowd outside, you may be in need of some.
She says a maker of potions. If only times were so luxurious that I could make use of some that you have. If I remember correctly, I even heard there are potions that are made in Paradel that can be used to reduce one's visage to their earlier years, at least for a while.
Well, I don't have any of them on hand. However, I do have some if you had to slip out without being seen. Maybe look like somebody else. I suppose you could look younger. Yeah.
She nods and says, "For a moment I thought you were a fool, coming here and peddling such high-priced items during a time where clearly nobody wants to spend part with that coin. My apologies. You are not. Please come in." And she'll immediately turn and lead you to another room, where she'll actually lead you over and into a sitting area that they have off to the side. Again, there's a fireplace in it that at one point in time, this fireplace and mantle were absolutely amazing. The mantle doesn't have many things sitting on it, and anybody who has an observant eye would notice that it actually has a bit of a tilt to it, which suggests, however, it was braced into the wall, originally constructed that way. It's probably not that supported like it was before, and definitely there's a couple stones missing from the fireplace too. Nonetheless, the chairs, which are still pretty comfortable, are sitting there for all of you to take a seat. Time of year, if I remember correctly, suggests that there's no fire in the fireplace. So you can go into the room and you can have a seat. She'll go and kind of sit in a space that's opposite the three of you, right? So that she can kind of like sit like leg crossed and have a conversation with you. So she sits down and says,
to know, like, to play the whole bodyguard role, what I will do is instead of sitting down, I'll just stand behind Magpie.
"Awesome. Norway. Actually, I don't believe in chapstick. I hate chapstick. I think it's gross. It's also proven that if you wear chapstick too often, it breaks down the natural enzymes that help to rejuvenate your lips to keep them healthy. So you actually become dependent on chapstick to maintain a degree of healthy lips. So
just use beeswax.
you can use like some more natural lip balms instead, but you're supposed to use those sparingly as well. So, either way, so So yeah,
boss,
she sits down opposite you guys. Go ahead.
The boss here likes to go where the business is good. Doesn't look like business is very good here.
It's keen observation. And then she kind of gives you a look, an encouraging nod, and then she'll turn and look back to Magpie and say, "So exactly what is it you have to offer?"
He opens his I don't know, gets a couple of potions out, and he'll say, "Well, this one here can make you look different. So if these people manage to storm into the property, you won't look like you. Might give you a moment. And this one, if you do have to escape, will stop anyone from being able to track you."
Unfortunately, I think if anybody were to break into here, they would just take blood from anyone.
Anyone's blood?
Unfortunately, I imagine so. None too happy, the people that are out there. I don't know if you're aware of what's been going on, but they want blood.
Death is better than torture, and then death.
Oh, I didn't say it would be quick. It could be hopeful. Maybe there'll be Maybe they'd be feeling charitable, considering my age.
If you're the boss, they'll definitely torture you. If you're not the boss, they might just kill you.
She turns towards Magpie and says, "Could you please remind me what place Bluey has and your payroll?"
I'll protect him
He said,
and his profits.
that he does, and he does it well.
I would actually give a little chuckle when he says that.
Think of Bluey more as a
Steve.
companion than a paid mercenary.
Sure. Could your companion perhaps speak a little less? She says, looking over at him.
His companion could. Whether he will.
She still waits for a response from Magpie.
He'll look over to Bluey and just give him like he's smiling, but he gives him a nod. Well, we're on our way to wherever it is we're going.
Branislav.
That's still in the advance, right?
No, that's in Jovincia.
Okay. Well, we're on our way to Redislav if you want to leave.
She shakes her head and says, there are many mornings where I wake up in a cold sweat, contemplating if I should retreat from what it is I'm doing here. I could escape. I certainly can make an opportunity and take it. But if I did, what would happen after I'm gone? The markets would open up again. Those that are out there defending will be recaptured and likely beaten into submission. And things will be where they left off. This is just a minor
But what
disruption.
What happens if you're killed? Then there's no one to fight that fight another day.
It's best to fight it today than wait for someone else to light the beacon. There's hope on the horizon. It's just on the wrong coast.
Hope?
There's a thing happening in the north. You don't seem like you're from Malta or particularly well known in the region. In short, there's a movement backed by a Malta among the people of northern Jovance to make their own belt of freedom. And slaves are always escaping and joining into it to help reinforce, whether it be through its infrastructure or to take up arms to defend what they believe to be right. It's happening in the north. I happen to be on the southern side of the lake.
This is recent? This is a recent thing?
It's been going on for, I'm going to say, nearly a year now, but only really gained prominent traction in the past few months, to the point where it's worth noting.
Could this have something to do with the whatever his name is, Jovan here?
You haven't here? Like his dying?
Yeah.
She shakes her head slowly and says, "No, I did hear of his untimely death. If I understand correctly, this had started prior to the death of the Yavin here. Different different games at play. They just happened to coincide. One aided the other in ways. It caused a bit of disruption.
Close to the border, though, isn't it?
It is. The Yavin here is actually his assassination took place in Ranislav.
Out of curiosity, the layout of the room, is there a window anywhere near me?
There are two windows in this room, and so there's one, because you're standing, you could easily take a step over to it.
Yeah, I just want to look out towards like the crowd and just get a sort of gauge on Basically, whether they're rowdy now or extra rowdy, bad time soon.
Oh, you can get a sense motive on that one, sir.
Okay.
Did that guy come in with us as well?
Oh, he stayed
I
out
think
at the
he's
front door.
Yeah.
Okay,
ju-
yeah.
Just at the front door. He had to protect the important assets. That door, he's like, nobody will touch this door. You know what I mean? Either way, so no, the you get the idea that things are rough out there, but for lack of better phrasing, because you're not familiar with this scenario, but you have been in conflict zones before. It's my apologies. You have been in conflict zones before, to re-enunciate. The things are not. They don't look like they're brimming to the point that you expect something to just immediately happen.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's all I was just worried about. I just step back and let the conversation continue.
Okay.
Well, being so close, one has to wonder. Say, shaking up things in events here as well. Things are as probably unstable as they may be in the northern part of Uvance.
I'm fine with that. I've never had ties with this part of Paradel, so I'm not too concerned with it. That since there were records suggesting that the Yavin here was participating in some activities that otherwise he himself condemned. So that's not such a bad thing either.
The slave trade himself.
This is unbacked rumors as of now, since the books are no longer on hands. But there is a ledger that exists that suggests as much.
Can I make a sense motive given what was just said?
Yes.
Okay, this is not good.
I mean, you believe what she's saying. The problem is she's poised in a very specific way. She speaks in a very specific way. She holds her face like she has such like a trained way of speaking that you not entirely like you think that maybe if she was lying, you might not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. So what was the exact?
You know
word
who
she
would be able to
said?
tell the difference?
Hey, I'm just rolling kind of meh. I have a decent sense.
Yeah,
motive.
one just like leans forward and goes,
What was the exact word she said?
She
About
said,
the
give
legend?
me 1 second. She said that there's no longer evidence. She said rumors as of now, since there's no longer any. Since
books
there's not
are
any.
no longer on hand, she said, and I quote.
There's no evidence, or whatever, supporting evidence, or whatever, on hand.
What happened to the books?
They were taken, actually, to some degree by force.
Taken by force?
It's
By who?
It's a bit of a story. This isn't originally my home. I'm not originally from here. It was many things transpired, but the owner of this home is no longer with us, and his estate has been passed on to myself. In short, he was killed in his sleep. I believe by some, for lack of better phrasing, a prostitute. I believe is the rumors that transpired. He took some woman to his beds and woke up in a pool of his blood. Anyways, others that came through and were interested in things in the area, they decided to appoint me to this position. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I had dealings with the previous owner. I had a way legally to stake claim to the assets. Things played out in my favor, and so I took over his estate. and decided to disrupt his dealings.
Well, I'm sorry for the loss of your acquaintance. It sounded like he at least had one hell of a night before he went out.
She nods and says, well, I suppose. She may have just gotten straight to work, though.
Oh, well.
Believe me.
Hopefully for his sake, yeah. And he just looks.
She goes, believe me, he was the kind of person that you would kind of hope just went straight to the ending. She actually kind of, she kind of when you say that, because that completely changes the tone, she shakes her head and says, no. Actually, he was betrothed to my daughter at one point in time. They were set to be married. It was a different time. I was a different person back then. Things didn't work out. They went different directions for their own reasons. Much to my dismay, but that's neither here nor there. I'm glad I understand the kind of person that he was. I'm glad that I am no longer the person that I was. But we're not here to discuss me. We're here to discuss what's happening here and what you can offer to assist in it. You said you have a means for me to slip out back if needed. Do you have an ability to make it so I cannot be seen? Or, I'm thinking of something that my grandfather had once passed down the family. It's no longer with us. A means of transporting oneself over vast distances rapidly.
Just click your heels together. There's no place like home.
She nods. She says, something not too far from that, yes. There's a limitation for how far I could bring you, but I think I'm still even within boundaries of that.
I would just say low is in not like not a whisper so she can obviously hear, but not like trying to hide it either, just trying to show that I'm obviously talking to Magpie and not her. I'll just say I can make her small and fast.
Well, I am able to do exactly what she's asked for. I can make something that can make her disappear. The only thing is, not. I need to gather some ingredients first. I don't know if they have them here.
Well, all of the market has been disrupted, but that doesn't mean that goods don't still trade hands. It is possible for us to get our hands on some supplies. I don't imagine we would have much of what you're looking for in this house.
Probably not. So there is still trade going on in the town, though.
There is. It's just the two prominent forms of trade have been completely, they've stopped. There is no longer a trading of slaves. I own that market and have shut it down and stopped any attempts to reopen it. And then there is also the fish market. Unfortunately, an incident happened. You always look for coincidences, and it's just when it happens and who happens to be around makes you curious how, but that's neither here nor there. The fish no longer exist in the lake. So
the fish no longer exist?
All of life in the lake all died within 24 to 48 hours. Within a day or two, she says. Within a day or two. Every single creature that lived in the lake died, and anything that was chose to feed off of them through ignorance or desperation also died. So that means all the plants in the lake died and eventually rose
When
to
she
the
says
surface.
this, Viggo kind of stands up really quickly and he says, "There's a plague in the city."
No longer. It's run its course.
That
Well.
sounds like more than a plague. Like judging after he said that, he would sort of judge her for how she took that, as if whether she thinks it was sabotage or like that sounds like magic. Something far more than just
Did you see the day the sky turned red?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Did this happen at the same time?
No. The sky turned red much later.
Okay.
Yes, if that happened that recently, I imagine the smell would still linger. If you have an entire lake, its whole, what's that word? Ecosystem, completely destroyed, rotting on its surface. All the towns around the lake, sent out the fishing boats just to collect the rotting fish. And we had various areas where we had giant pyres of fire, and we would just throw them on the fire to burn them, to get rid of the smell, because it went on for a long time. The good news is the fish oils that were able to be relieved from the fires, those were still able to be collected and used normally. So I guess not everything went to waste.
Can new fish not be brought in to start the ecosystem again?
It's actually being worked on. It's actually being worked on right now. There's again, these are somewhat out of my realm of understanding, but druids, they call themselves, have seen it as their own, we'll call it, personal mission to bring back at least some semblance of the ecosystem that was here before. So they've been transplanting various types of kelp and whatnot into this region from other places. Generally speaking, locally sourced to keep things back to how they were. There's rumors of them squabbling as to whether or not things from other areas should be added to improve the original ecosystem. I don't get involved in these matters, though. I'm old. I'm going to die soon. Either, hopefully, asleep in my bed, likely at the end of somebody's blade. I'm just trying to do my part in helping with the change while I can. She kind of like gives it almost like a pensive look, and she's like, atonement of sorts, if you will.
Meanwhile, your son is preparing for war.
I see. Well, one last thing.
Oh, hey, baby.
Oh, hey. It's me. I'm over there right now.
Rayra
Listen.
just walks in.
Brittany just walked in, tossed me a wink, and gave me the banana.
God damn.
Damn.
That banana looks a little bit green, Scott.
Actually, it's a little green. Yeah, it's exaggerated because there's a green screen behind me, so the camera is, of course, going to screw with it a little bit. But it does have a bit of a greenish hue to it. Yeah, so it's more exaggerated on the screen than it is in real life. It's more of a darker color than what you're seeing on screen.
Yeah, just...
Here, let's see if this helps. Does that help? Yeah, it's a little bit better, but still a little bit more exaggerated than
Looks
it
fine
needs
to
to
me.
be. Yeah. But Brittany likes to eat bananas that have a little bit of green on them. She likes a stiff banana. So, me
To be
personally,
fair, I like a banana with a little bit of green at times.
Yeah, I was about
I'm
to
a
like
fan of-
agree and like
I'm a
add
fan of
and then
both.
you added that.
I'm a fan of both types of bananas. You know, they're a separate entity, really.
I would actually agree with that as well. Like there's positives and negatives to both.
And so Lady Greyres is like, "Oh, excuse me," and then pulls out a banana and slowly peels it in front of Jake, right?
she says, "Did you want a banana as well, or would you rather I offer you a peach?"
Jesus, she's got bananas and peaches. Like, this is where all the money's going. This is why the
That's what I was
wallpaper's
saying,
like
yeah, hang
curling
on.
up the wall. Because she's a fucking fruit fiend. Jesus.
Fucking.
All right.
All right. What was I saying?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I can't. It's gone.
Oh,
All I
yeah,
know,
um,
all I know is in less than a month, I'm gonna be at King Richard's Fair, and there's usually this guy that walks around with a giant wheelbarrow full of a giant barrel full of a bunch of homemade pickles, and he's like, "Get your pickle!" And he's really funny because he says like he offers you his pickle, and like ways with intense innuendos, and I always want his pickle. It's really yummy. It's a delicious pickle.
I'm gonna very quickly be right back.
He wants a pickle too. Can we get a screenshot of the face that he just made right before he turned the camera off? Like, it was like a perfect face, like a, what did you just say? Like just a little bit of like teeth showing in the front and everything. It was like a perfect face. Oh. Anyways, it was just kind of like one of those like, what? Anyways, go ahead, Jake.
One last thing. You mentioned people eating the fish and getting sick.
People and animals, yeah.
What about just general contact with it?
She asked that. She says, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. This wasn't a matter that I bore too deeply into. I happened to have supplies stored up here as all that began, and so I was able to somewhat remove myself from the dangers of the scenario. Being as old as I am, I couldn't take a chance of potentially catching something, because likely that would have spelled the end.
Yes, well, it would have been good to get a sample, but unfortunately, it seems to be long gone at this stage.
Oh,
She shakes her head
fortunately.
she shakes her head and says, again, from whatever it was that was introduced into the lake, it killed literally everything in 2 days' time at most, from coast to coast, north, south, east, west. I don't think you understand. When we tried to set sail to the ships to clear out the lake, they had to go through the number of dead fish and other life at the top of the lake were stacked up across the entire surface of it because of the amount of life that apparently lives inside of a lake. I wasn't aware of these things. I don't study aquatic life.
Lake
Nonetheless,
Did
lakeology then. She thinks to herself, no, I don't believe that's the word. And then she continues and says,
did no one look into what it was? That sounds
more
more than a plague.
certainly people would have been interested, but considering both markets, all money, that made Strandano any amount of profit had been disrupted, people had other concerns. Instead of the whys, it was more the how am I going to get my next meal?
I see. Well, do you have an alchemist or a herbalist store in town?
At one point in time, we did. The way that the herbalists worked is they owned a good number of people, and they used to use them to go and collect the various herbs and whatnot that they needed. I was also able to find inside the ledgers that they were behind on payments for the persons that they owed. I used the legal system to take them for everything that I could. I don't imagine that they are still in operation after they're down to only just one person in their, shall we say, employ. You're welcome
Wait,
to
so-
try, of course.
The slave market and the fish market are gone, and you closed down one of the other remaining markets.
I didn't do that intentionally. What happened was the owner owned slaves that owed money to the proprietor of the slave market, myself. So I used the legal system to reclaim what I owed, what was owed to me. And I imagine it would be difficult to run a business selling supplies most people don't want with very little, shall we say, help to assist you in getting the supplies that you'd need to sell. So it might still be open, but domino effect.
So,
Say, well, he'll look to you as you get to speak.
sounds like there's no jobs in this place. I can't imagine there's a huge remit for profit outside of our fair lady here.
She nods and says, unfortunately, it's true. The most money you're likely to get offered by any individual in the entirety of the town would be the collection of most people that live here from my head.
Oh, no time on the present.
She nods. She's not afraid.
He didn't say that. He did not say that. I think I get what you're saying, Bluey. If I make this for you, no one works for free.
Of course. Because if they did, I would probably have to take them to the courts. Because likely they just stole one of my assets.
Say less. He'll stand up and he'll say, I wonder if anyone has, if the herbalist shop has been ransacked or if there's anything left there.
You're welcome to go find out. Best of luck, of course. If you were able to produce this for me, though, I do need to understand to what degree of debt I am getting myself into.
Of course, standard invisibility potion prices, mate. 300 gold
pieces. Yeah.
Yep.
Magpie. A word?
Certainly, Bluey.
So he leans down. What if we knocked off a bit of the price for some information? It's possible that he's heard something more about the assassination. And seeing as we're going there for business, it's in our interest to be well informed. He winks.
Well, that's certainly a possibility. Would you like to present your idea to the lady?
With your leave to speak, my lady.
She'll nod.
My master here, in his good nature, can see that you are in a certain state of disrepair. And because of that, we are willing to offer you a discount. If you might be able to offer us some information for where my master is headed next. As he says, Renetslav is likely to be a place of some political... What's the word?
Ongoings.
Instability?
Instability. As such, to make a profit there, one must have the shrewd eye that my master possesses and information. Information which I suspect a woman like you also understands the worth of.
I have a limited understanding of what goes on beyond these walls because I'm so well kept within them. But with that being understood, I can tell you a bit more about Paradel's involvement and what happened before. The previous owner of this home, the man that he was, yes, he served as a prominent figure in northern Jovance, but he actually also had dealings with Jovincia. As a matter of fact, there were Paran guards that lived within this home. He actually used his home as a base of operations for other Paran to come and go from. Now, I don't know if this was entirely an amicable arrangement between both sides, or if it was something that was pressed upon him, or however the case may be. I wasn't as involved at the time, but he did use this place as a base of operations for Perrin military to come and go, utilizing his ships to do as is needed to bring supplies through here. As a matter of fact, there were some, what are they called? I can't remember the name that the Perrin used, but mages that use wands, like warriors that use wands, whatever they're called. Apparently there were supplies of even wands and potions that can restore one's like heal wounds and whatnot, came through in crates to be redistributed within Jovansa's borders to their various operatives. That, of course, is a chain that no longer exists. That was routed out at about the same time that he found his untimely death. I hear stories of a brutish woman that well, she had her way with someone down in the basement, and it was much to his dismay.
Would you happen to have any papers proving this?
All the paperwork, all the ledgers that confirmed everything I've said about the Yavin here and the various Perrin operatives were taken by this very people that put me into this position. Not to say that these are... It's convenient, isn't it, to make claims and not have the backing details. They themselves were not... I'm not inclined to give too much detail about them. They are good people, and I don't want to place a target on their back any greater than the ones they've already put there themselves.
Well, it seems like maybe they had it in for the Yavin here, and now he's dead.
I don't believe the two were involved. As a matter of fact, if I understand correctly, the people that I knew are, shall we say, not East.
West.
She just shakes her head, but not like for you to keep guessing, as like I'm saying too much.
See, well, if there's anything else, he'll look to his two companions.
He'll shake his head.
Well then, we'll see what we can dig up.
In the meanwhile, if that long trip that you took up the river to bring you here, if it has left you a bit wary, there are a considerable number of guest rooms inside of this house. You're welcome to spend the evening here. I understand it takes time to brew such a thing anyways. So you're welcome to spend the evening here. And I noticed your approach, marching with a number of guards that you came with. It was pretty obvious. So that being said, they are also welcome to find home here. There are actually servants' quarters down below in the basements. They are welcome to...
Yeah, more deterrence for a little while.
Yeah, literally, like.
So if you happen to want to bring your soldiers...
We'll keep that in mind.
No.
I don't happen to have a stable.
She nods. There's a stable. There is no... The meat was all eaten already. I have to say, it's not the first time I've had horse, but we don't prepare it. We don't have the correct means to prepare it the same way we did back home. A different stock.
Well, I've got my own meat, and he has a name. If we stay here, if I might stable him, I give you fair warning that if anyone lays a finger on him, I will break that finger, possibly the arm.
nobody that is welcome to be on these. Nobody that's welcome to be on my estate. Will touch your horse. I cannot.
He would give a half bow.
Okay, cool. And I imagine that's kind of it that you guys need to do.
Let's go steal from an alchemy shop, but not steal.
Well,
I mean,
we'll find out where they get their stock from. Blah blah
Look,
blah.
I'm hoping that the shop is ransacked. They don't know what they're looking for, and I'll find all the ingredients I need strewn around the floor.
Wow, that's convenient.
Thanks.
That's hopeful.
He's looking at chat saying,
for this
that
game,
would
that's very
be
hopeful.
quite fortunate if such a favor
Yeah,
were
yeah.
to be.
Wait, hang on. You're
like-
cheapening the fortune's favors now to make 300 gold.
A fortune's favor for some fucking dried plants and a few mushrooms versus
That I have
trump
to
card for
make.
2,000 troops. like these 2,000 troops are at your door, and like you throw some dried mushrooms at them, and they're like, "Fair play, mate. I'm out. This ain't worth it."
We can at least find out information on where they get their stocks at worst. I think like that's a good thing to hope for, at least.
Let's go.
You certainly don't want to give
We'll
money
go.
to this guy. He might use his money to buy another slave.
Or you could pay some.
Exactly. Well, or he can what?
Pay some.
Pay some?
Yeah.
I don't think you were part of the previous conversation.
Yeah, he had slaves. Now he doesn't.
There's one. There's one left. That she
There's
knew
one
of.
left.
That she
Oh.
knew of. Yeah. It was already paid off. So.
Let's go free a slave, boys.
I like this
So-
plan.
All right, cool. Awesome. So
Can we? I think it might be a good idea if our guards stay there, because it would be awkward if something happened to Greyrus in our absence, and I'd rather have a nice warm dry bed rather than a really really hot dry bed when the house is burnt down again.
Yeah, I was. Let's say let's dive into that, because as we leave, Viggo would say to both of you, he'd say, "If we stay here, we might not live to see morning."
You're not thinking about.
From what I can tell,
No.
from what
He
I can
laughed.
tell,
that's so crass.
The house might be burnt down with us in it.
To be fair, though, you do have like a
Right.
long history of like lots of universities and whatnot. You might have a thing for older ladies. Like you had a lot of professors that you were just like, you know, if it's all you knew as a
I
kid,
guess we'll-
right? Because like you didn't go to children's school.
You want to
were put in,
delve
like-
into that RP, Scott? Okay, let's get there when we come back. Hey,
oh no.
Oh my
Um,
god!
Ow, Jake.
skipping dinner this
Damn
time.
it.
We'll go straight to the
No.
point.
You mean magpie?
Oh, Rita.
Magpie always finds the treasure.
God damn it. Gallon would chime in saying, from what I can tell, the crowd is rowdy, but not rowdy enough to do anything, at least not just yet.
Yeah, not as far as you could tell. 22 is to be
Not as far as I
21.
can
My
tell.
apologies. Is a pretty fair thing. So the way that it works, a hunch of a social situation is based off of a DC 20 with additional modifiers by DM based off of scenario and so on and so forth. So you did beat the basic hunch thing there. So
Yeah, so as far as I can tell, I'll keep an eye on the situation, but for now, I think it's okay. Tomorrow may be different. But
From the situation this town's in, I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to slit our throats wherever we slept. At least it's
Yeah.
more likely to be a concerted battle if they attack her manor. And it gives a place for all the men to sleep.
I would
Can't say I would
agree.
be more
think-
comfortable on the boat, but I think the men probably deserve a night in an actual bed.
I would agree.
Say you get to play Little Spoon. What's the matter with you, Jake? Go ahead, Tash.
I would agree that we're at risk of just being here. I think adding our soldiers to the soldiers of the house at least give more deterrence. Maybe they'll wait till we leave.
Yes, well, let's go to this herbalist and see what we can turn up.
Indeed. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for people trying to pickpocket and doing all that shit, because this place is going to be a nightmare for that.
Yeah, please keep them away from me. I have many things that I don't want taken.
I will do my best.
Don't worry, Carrick's in kick mode.
So that's actually a
Like,
legit thing, because obviously you're gonna have to be careful for like pickpockets, and because it's bustling here. So in the areas that are busy, and it's desolate in the areas that are like empty, right? So that being said, I imagine you want to keep kind of like a protected pattern, with most expensive stuff being on Jake's character, where maybe like Carrick walks to his right flank and you guys each walk to his forward and back left flank. You know,
Triss was going to get on Carrick and literally ride in front of Jake. I mean, if you don't get out the way of a warhorse, then you're in trouble. So people will move.
it comes back to Princess Bride, where everybody move, and they all. No, that's parting of the. Yeah.
You got to get out of the way of a big horse.
Good news is, most they can steal from me is 6 gold pieces, so I'll be at the back behind Jake.
Nice.
I kind of want to play like.
I have one of those tourist wallets, the ones that they like strap to their body or something, get their clothes off the top off.
I kind of want to play a Fezzik character, like play a mountain man, and just be like, "Anybody want a peanut?" Like just like a fun, lovable, but extremely dangerous mountain man. Like I think that'd be fun.
You mean Tristan, but from a mountain?
Well, he's not a mountain man. He's a little boy.
That's why you love him.
Mm.
Clip that out of context, please.
Side note: last night. I watched the first half of the first episode ever of Homeland, because I've never watched that show. And I was like, God damn it, the show's stacked. Like, I love Claire Danes. And then Mandy Patinkin's in it.
That's good.
Right, I didn't even finish the episode, but I love Claire Danes. Like, I think she's fucking amazing. I love Mandy Patinkin, which Princess Bride, right? He's fucking amazing. But then it also has the girl that plays Inara from Firefly too. And I'm like,
oh, does it?
Yeah, except it doesn't.
Cool.
It took me a minute to realize it was her, because like, you don't want to by any means like body shame, but she's like way skinnier in Homeland than she was in Firefly. So it actually took me a minute to realize it was her.
It's just a fact.
Well,
her body has changed shape.
Well, whenever you point out something like that, it can come off as negative. I didn't mean it to come off as negative, but it just took me a minute to recognize it was her, because she was just very different looking. That, and she was, completely naked. So, which wasn't in Firefly. So,
that was surprising considering her role in Firefly.
Right? Like, lots of open back, none of the front. Anyways, either way, it was like, I was like, wow, I might actually watch the show, because like, I won't lie, it's stacked. It's got some good actors in it. So, anyways, side note. Beds are comfy, especially when you have a nice cushy old lady to keep it warm. So
why are you still? I think
that
Scott's
RP will be on the
his
Patreon right
here.
after One verse Octavia, guys.
oh my god, onlyfans.com/Grundle. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be great. You'd be surprised on what you see on the OnlyFans, actually, guys. Like, I mean, we're talking One and Octavia. You're all expecting that. One and Viggo and Grearis, maybe. Who knows? But One and Mycin? Whew, no one saw that one coming. You know what I mean?
I thought you were going to state the obvious and One and Rayron, but you can play that off all you like.
But you have to get that one on the higher tier.
Well, listen,
of course.
Listen, there's two things to know about the OnlyFans. First of all the scripts are written by Joey. And second of all, it's the only place where you find consistent posts. It is. I suppose there's one more detail. There's no OnlyFans, but Joey still writes the scripts. See, true.
Can we read them, Joey? Can you DM them to us?
It's not
Gonna be
fair.
a new channel
It's not fair.
in the Discord.
I knew Joey was in chat, and I also know Joey usually watches where he has like a 40-second lag. So I totally set him up for that one. So I set him up for that. So sorry. All right. Joey's a good boy. So you guys go walking out trying to find out where this herbalist is. What is your technique for trying to find the herbalist? Are you just gonna like ride up and down the streets? Are you just gonna like intimidate? Where is it? Or are you gonna ask like, "Hey, could you help me out with directions?"
Could I not have asked Grayrus like where the herbalist was?
Yeah.
She might have told us to.
Yeah.
Like, if
Scott's
she's like,
"Aw."
have fun on your way to the herbalist, and then she's like, shit, they have literally fuck all clue where they're going, and I shut the shop down. Oh.
You didn't shut it down. She just more or less sued the proprietor into oblivion.
She just profited off the slave trade that she doesn't want.
No.
I just
Yeah,
love
so
that.
no.
Yeah.
I
You
just
think I
love
don't
that-
see through Grayrus' shit after all this time?
She's just a
He
terrible
hasn't
person,
changed
so she
one
knows this-
bit.
She'll
Alright,
get
so
her
anyways.
atonement. She'll
Well,
get
the
her atonement.
Inquisition's here now, boys.
I just love the face Scott made when Jake suggested, "Can't we just ask Lady Grayrus?" He's like, "But all the fun I could have had making you
I
go the wrong
know,
way."
I know. But for the sake of Norway and us pushing the plot, she gives you directions, and you guys are able to find yourselves relatively easily there. But because, of course, I need to make things difficult, if y'all want to go ahead and roll me a sense motive as you're kind of like judging the groups of people that you're traveling through and the general dangers. This is the this is what you call
You ready for the natural 20?
It's what you call the New York test. Like, is it too late for me to go for a walk?
It wasn't a natural 20.
No, 220. I thought it was 24, 424. Like, that's funny. Like, you were their number, sans the natural 20.
But I told you, are you ready for the natural 20? And I gave it to those two.
Bullshit. There's nothing natural about these two. They're from Australia. So you
So who just burped directly?
Jake.
That wasn't me. What the?
No,
It just all happened so quickly. It was just burp, pardon me.
do you have any idea how difficult it is streaming with Messi, where he has a bunch of burp sounds on? So you're just like, so you'd be talking, to all of a sudden you're like, and the thing, or it's like an echoed one. It's like a fart with an echo, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, the fart with the reverb.
Yes, like mother. All right, mother farter. So you guys are easily able to find yourselves there, as I said. You do actually get a pretty rating of the crowd. Not Tristan. He's too busy being high and important with his weapon out, but down low in one hand, and the other on the reins of his horse, riding forward, bugging everybody.
I got no weapon. I'm just like carrot, kick,
I'm sorry. What is your weapon?
horseman's hammer,
What is your other weapon?
a lance.
Oh, okay, cool. So where is that sitting?
So the horseman's hammer is hooked onto his belt, and the lance is strapped to the horse.
It's there and down, I think is what he's saying. The lance is always out.
It's very carefully put at eye height.
So eye height, nice.
Like there's a horse coming, they hear the clop and they turn around, just
It's like that old knights thing. We have to go through the ring, right? The practice. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. By the way, if you've never seen the movie A Knight's Tale, it's not a good movie. It's lots of fun.
it's
Definitely
an
watch
excellent movie. It's,
I
it's
love
not
it.
like
I love
it's not like accurate in any way. It's just
No.
a fun time.
No. What von Liechtenstein? You know, what is it? I can't remember the character's name. Something.
Yeah,
von
I'm with Neil. I
Liechtenstein.
don't agree that fun movies need to be labeled not a good movie but fun. I think it's good.
It's good because it's fun.
So you're telling
It
me that
knows
you
what it
liked
is.
you liked the new Fast and Furious movie where they went into outer space?
I haven't seen it.
I've not
They go
watched
down
it.
space.
I've not watched it, but I did like
So-
this
no,
crappy film.
Listen. I'm sorry, Neil. Listen, I watched the new Fast and Furious movie because they're horrible movies. I haven't seen the Hobbs one yet, though. Horrible movies, but I love them. They are literally they set
I
up
would
the premise
disagree
that the
'cause they
next
know
one.
what they are.
No, the next one they forgot who they were. The next one they
No.
set up the premise of the next one they literally become superheroes. I'm
It's
telling
like
you,
the,
next one they're going to have superpowers. I'm telling you. They set up the premise of this one that the next one they will be X-Men. I'm telling you.
If you could let me explain, like the Expendables is a great example. Like that movie was absolutely fantastic because it knew what the fuck it was and it did it.
But the Expendables was the Expendables from Inception. If you remember the first two Fast and Furious movies, they were 18-wheeler robbers. They were just people in fast cars that
Well,
used to
okay.
rob like
I-
VCRs out of the back
I
of
know
18-wheelers.
we all know what Fast and Furious is now, though,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it knows what it is too.
And I'm telling you, the next one, they're going to be superheroes. You can have somebody like flying, somebody who's going to have like laser vision. I'm telling you, watch this movie and then go, Scott, you're goddamn it, you're right. Like, I mean, come
I
on.
wouldn't be I
Scott!
wouldn't be surprised.
Did we find the alchemist?
Yes, you were able to avoid scenarios that seem like they're a little bit too sketchy. You were able to see the people standing in certain roads and whatnot that looked like, honestly, we could probably bully our way through this one. And so you did, and others where you're like, let's just avoid this scenario altogether. I think that they are desperate enough that it doesn't matter that we are armed to the teeth. The fact that they have their numbers leads them to believe that they'd have a chance. And if the fact of the matter is, any encounter you get into, never mind D&D mechanics, any encounter you get into, they do have a chance. So you guys
If
want
enough
to
Roll that
people, one
natural
might get a
20
crit-
followed by
yeah.
another natural 20.
well, numbers. Yeah, if you look at the way the mechanics work, for the sake of grappling people down to the ground and pummeling them out, the rules are actually in their
Someone
favor.
will get that. Yeah, someone will get that 20.
Yeah. So either way, they make their. You guys are able to make your way downtown. You walk fast. Angry faces past.
Alchemist bound.
Yeah, Alchemist. There you go. Herbal bound, whatever. So
Bound.
you actually arrive at the establishment. You can see the establishment is heavily boarded up. The windows are all boarded up. Everything is boarded up, except for the front door. The front door is not boarded. It is open. Well, available.
Let me get
Oh, looks like we're here. The old
And I'm
motion
gonna
for you to go forward.
I'm gonna carefully look through the door first.
So the door, which does have glass on it, because you'd want to be able to have some light come in or whatever. You think it must have been soot or something else that was put on there, because it's made it so that you can't properly see through the glass. It's very fogged up in a way that you can't really see through it to see what's on the inside. Make me a perception check. The DC is not low. You see that there's somebody on the inside. You can just barely make out the shape of a person standing on the inside of the door. Maybe the fact that you're standing in front of it, the light from behind you, casting a shadow in, made them aware of your presence. First, you notice there's a bit of movement, then you realize there's a shape. Then you can see that person is not too far from the door itself, and they're definitely holding something. At 28 there, yeah, you can actually see there's a person there holding a spear aimed at the door. So whoever is on the inside, they're guarded.
He's just gonna. So knowing that they can see each other, he's gonna just put up
Well,
one
they don't
hand
necessarily
saying-
know that you can see them. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I know,
Okay.
but knowing that I can see them and they can see me is the point. So hold up one hand and say, "We don't mean you any harm." How do they move?
So when you say we don't mean you any harm, you hear a call out, "Come in."
Will you back
Yes.
away with that spear?
Tris with dismount.
So they're not. It's not one of those things where as soon as the door opens up, they'll be able to stab you. There is room for you to come in,
Oh, okay.
but they can
So
easily take
just-
like a step forward and lunge. You know.
Yeah.
So yep,
Okay. Stay put with that spear.
they do. When
Just
you
letting
open up the
them know
door,
that I can see where they are.
when you open up that door, the person says one at a time. And you can see that the person that's standing before you, their clothing is not exactly of a decent quality, and they definitely have some simplistic armors on them as well. Like, so some simple leather armors that are on them as well. Probably not originally made for them, but they're on them now. You very much get the impression that this is probably the one remaining servants that was mentioned by Lady Grearis. They are there holding a long spear. Very quickly analyzing, now that you can properly see the scenario, you're a warrior and trained in many different types of weapons. You can see that any buffoon can hold a spear and can lunge with it. This person, however, is likely not trained with it.
Yeah, I'm still, so seeing the situation, seeing that they're likely the servant, I'm just going to try and calm them down by, look at us. We're not from around here. We're not going to be as desperate as the people.
Shakes his head and interrupts you and says, one at a time.
I wasn't disputing that. I'm just trying to ease your nerves. And he'll step in at first.
Yeah.
Gesture to whoever's next, and I'll be watching to jump in the way if anything happens, but I don't expect it to happen.
I imagine Magpie comes second.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
Viggo
I'd
comes
say to
second.
Bluey, watch the door.
Oh, you get to stay with Carrick. Cool. Good, because I was actually, funny enough in the meta, I was going to stop you at 2. That's enough. You know, sort of a thing.
Oh, well,
So that actually worked out perfectly. So you come in and you allow the door shut behind you. Seeing the two of you and kind of like how you're dressed, armed, and so on and so forth, he says, not from around here. We got lots of weapons on you. Why are you here?
Yes, well, this is a herbalist, is it not?
So to buy stuff?
Yes. Do you have? And he'll just, say what he needs.
He kind of like waits to see you finish rattling off the stuff, and he goes, I'll get him. And then he turns and he walks to the back of the place where, you see kind of like leans through a doorway, and he calls up the stairs for somebody else to come down. The person that comes down the stairs is, again, at one point in time, probably wore decently nice merchant clothes, but has not been able to have them properly like laundered in a long while, because nobody used the lake. People are still very superstitious about the quality of water and whatnot inside the lake at the moment, so has not been able to have them properly laundered in a while. Lots of patchworks and whatnot on them, hasn't probably been able to replace them. So at one point in time, of a successful merchant, but nowadays is barely hanging on. They come walking over and say, it's thank you for thinking to come by. I have to say I don't have much by way of supplies. I think I heard you rattling off a list from upstairs. Do you have it written down, or would you rather just rattle it again?
Viggo will take he'll rip like a page out, grab quill or whatever, and he'll write it down, hand it over.
While he's writing it down, he'll actually look over at Gallon. I get your fake names in my head right now. Looks over at Gallon to I know I was trying not to say that. Looks over at Gallon to say while he's writing it down, and says, you come from far?
Bit all over.
Merchants yourselves, he says, kind of like gesturing towards your companion.
Guard merchant.
Nods and says, part of a merchant's guild or individual?
Continues writing.
Well, I don't know personally, so I'll just wait to see if he answers.
That's funny.
Viggo does not. He keeps writing.
That's funny. I'm a sense motive that, baby. Oh, you had a hard
Sense
time.
motive it all you like. It's more like it's not worth my time. Time is money, and I need my stuff.
The natural 6. They're old shit. So, I mean, I had a decent modifier, but not like a crazy one. So when you just don't answer, he just kind of understands, like, I'm not here to talk, I'm here to guard. And he kind of gets that impression. And he's obviously down to business. So he waits till the list is done, and he takes it and he goes, oh, I don't think I have everything here, but I'll see what I can do to get this together. Are you? These are reagents typically used in for alchemy. Are you an alchemist?
You answered your own question, but yes, I am. Are you? You double?
He shakes his head. He's like, I know a couple of very, very minor things. I think stuff that you would probably learn in your earlier years. I've kind of picked up over the years, but nothing so grand as to what I hear that they teach in the various colleges. What are you looking to make?
Never too late to learn.
Oh. He nods and says, well, it would require having more supplies on hands that you're willing to part ways with, maybe because they're turning of age. Which, speaking of, I'm going to be honest with you. Most of my herbs, they're dried herbs. So they're not going to be as potent as the fresh stuff. And you might want to compensate for additional amounts than what you have written here to make up for potency, unless that throws off the balance of the potion.
That's a meta question.
Yeah. But,
I don't know about.
No, that's perfectly fine. Again, it's you can kind of just make up your answer for that, anyways. For
yep.
You know.
Well, a skilled alchemist can make do with what they have on hand.
He nods and says, "Oh, and let me see if I can get this together for you." And he'll actually name off 2 or 3 items for the other person, and they'll start kind of like going about and collecting the different ingredients. After like a good 30 seconds or so of collecting the ingredients in relative silence, he does calls back over his shoulder, and he says, "So where did you study?"
I'm gonna name the place in
Nice, Norway.
What's it called? What is it? Taziendale that I already know about.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that place out in Tazian. So you mentioned the name of the school, and he and there's like a moment where he kind of like looks back over his shoulder at you and kind of screws up his face. And if you don't instantly offer information, he says, "I'm sorry, I don't know that one."
Oh, what ones do you know?
And he kind of like drags for a few seconds, and then he names like 2 like of the most prominent schools in Yovance. Can you go ahead and do me a history check for me? I don't know if you want to be quick with your response, if you want to spend a moment to think about his response.
I would just, if
Quick
it's an alchemy
okay?
school, I should either know or I don't.
He named a couple of schools. Only one of them has alchemy offered at it. The others are not alchemy schools at all.
Ooh.
He just named schools that it's like somebody's like, "Where did you practice law?" And they'd be like, I practice
Law.com.
Yeah, like University of Phoenix. It's like you mean the all online campus? Like, okay, cool. All right.
When he says that, I say, "Oh, prestigious schools, are they?"
Yeah, MIT law. Nice.
I was gonna say MIT, but I wasn't sure enough that they didn't actually have law to not say it. I was like, MIT? No, I'll leave it.
So I jumped to law because literally last night, Brittany and I rewatched for the first time over 10 years, Legally Blonde. I fucking love that movie. It's so much fun. It does not age well in certain places, but in other places, you're like, you go, girl. You know what I mean? Like it's, I love that movie. Moving on. Which I've been to Harvard a ton of times, so it's just funny seeing Harvard campus. Either way, go ahead.
I think I said, "Oh, such prestigious schools."
He's like, yeah, kind of like reinforced with the what he was saying before, and he's like,
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll have the opportunity, but there's a bit of a crisis going on. There's a couple of crises going on in the town as of lately. Have you heard?
Only little bits. While we wait, do you care to fill us in?
Yeah, sure. He kind of rattles off a couple more items, so he unloads his workload of collecting stuff, so he can spend more time coming over and talking to you, while the other person is...
Are you making the slave do it all now?
Oh, yeah, of course he is. Of course he is, while he comes over to talk to you. So anyways, So he comes over to have speaking, and he says, well, there was a thing that happened in the lake, but it's being fixed. I don't think it's going to be better for at least a few years' time. But in the meanwhile, it's being worked on, and supposedly we could start fishing again, not next year, but the one following. And he kind of shrugs. In the meanwhile, we have to see what we can get from the rivers or what can be transported up. Luckily, I have enough coin on hands from wonderful patrons like yourself, if I might say, to help keep food on the table. So myself and my companion here can assist so we can continue to fill our bellies.
Companion.
That being said, there is also a bit of another issue. Did you notice the mob when you? I'm not sure which direction you came in from. Did you notice the mob? Yeah, on the hill.
Yes.
You have to understand, in this local area, we have this governess. She is a horrible bitch of a person. She's done everything in her power to disrupt local economy, keeping as much as she can for herself. She's stealing from the coffers of everybody else. Has so many of the different workers in the area under her command. Will not allow anybody else to employ them. It is difficult to say the least to try to get by. It's actually she's gotten to the point where people are they're calling for her head with quite the offer. If I'm sure you're not interested in hearing such things. I mean, I know you have a couple of very well armed and likely skilled warriors at your side, but I'm sure you don't want to hear of such things.
I think you've said all that needs to be said on the matter, really.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, of course. Goes down and like kind of grabs another item. You know, again, like another minute or so passes. They're clearly almost like getting the stuff together. As he gets like another item, gets the right proportions, and brings to the table. Oh, go ahead.
How long has it been like this sort of gesturing in the direction of the hill? Like prone to boil over soon?
It's a few months. It's been really bad, and
I think like that. Pointing the mob.
Yep. He says a few months that it's been getting really bad. I would say the tinderbox is quite full and waiting for the correct spark.
Noted.
You'd hear a knock on the door.
Immediately, the other person kind of drops a bottle as they jump, and you hear a shatter, which of course gets a sharp look from him. He's like, "You're idiots!" And then the guy kind of like clambers over to grab a spear and runs over to the door quickly.
Tris will push the door. He'll knock and then push the door open.
You're the best.
Boss, does he do tea? That looks good.
Those are really good.
Seeing the guy...
Is there bacon in there?
I'm just going to wait till he gets over that.
Oh, you are the best.
He needs a moment.
There's bacon and muffin and everything. All right, go ahead.
Tris will knock and then push open the door, and seeing the guy rushing with a spear, as he says, he goes, "Boss, do they do tea?" And then he'll see the guy rushing and look at him and go, "Do you do tea?" Floral.
The poor guy is trying to be intimidating.
So you kind of rush over the spear, and when he realizes, he kind of calls out the guy's name. Let's see, what's a fun name that we can call this person?
Bob.
No, we're gonna call him Vic, as in Viking. Vic, he calls, and the guy kind of like skitters to a stop. He's like, "Is with them. Everything seems fine so far." He calls over to you and says, "I'll have Vic bring you out some tea. It'll just be a few more minutes." Is that a horse out there? He calls after you say thank you. He says, "Is that a horse out there?"
Finest one in the town by the looks of it.
Calvary too.
The only one in the town by the looks of it.
He says Calvary too, looking over at Viggo.
It's called cavalry. And let the door swing.
And so,
Yeah.
and the other guy can grab up some herbs. He gets accosted, so he can pick up the mess that he made, and has to grab up some herbs, and he can make a tea or whatever. And he does look at you, and he says, so I kind of continue what was said beforehand. So another minute or so passes, and then he says, you know, it's quite the lump sum that's being offered for that deed. You hadn't heard it prior to now, right?
Oh, how much?
On top of whatever coin she has saved up there, being kept for the person that chooses to take it. Everybody kind of agrees. We even have the local magistrate that agrees. Well, there are no heirs that property would belong to next. Nobody has legal claim to that property after, you know, the previous owner had passed it on to her. It's quite the big chunk of lands, very comfortably nestled up on that hill overlooking a lake which is on the recovery. You know, also the owner of that property happens to own an entire shipping industry. There's I think 4 or 5 boats that belong to the person that holds that estate. Either way, the magistrate is saying that whoever chooses to lay claim to it after her no longer needing it, if the town agrees, which I can assure you the town would, it would belong to them. Just saying.
There was a bounty on her head, if I wasn't mistaken.
I wouldn't be so crass as to say a bounty on her head. Such things would be considered illegal. Nobody would put something like a bounty on her head. I'm just saying that there seems to be value if assets were to change hands.
I see.
Oh, besides, there is a local herbalist market in the area that would be more than happy to give anybody else who's interested in moving into the region a long-lasting and generous discount. I mean, anything to get the spice to flow, if you will.
You know what? I'm going to pay this house a visit.
He raises an eyebrow.
See what all the fuss is about.
He nods and says,
This place looks like it's seen its share of lows, and like you said, it's on the come up. Interesting.
Diplomacy check with that one. Also, a bluff check too, but that should be an easy DC because of conversation. I'm clearly leading it. He wants to believe. What was that first? I wasn't looking. What was your bluff? Let me get my bluff DC. So go ahead, diplomacy check.
You can add.
Oh.
Go ahead. You can do your
I did my bluff already. It was 10, and diplomacy is a nat 20.
So circumstance, he wants to. Well, I didn't know if you were going to modify that in any way. So they want to believe you. So
if I can modify the bluff, I will.
So the bluff is a 15.
To 15
because they want to believe you. Correct. So it's up to you if you want to modify. Okay, cool. That's 19.
19.
Okay. So wow, that's beautiful. That's a green on the board there.
Nice.
Very
Very nice.
them on Mondays.
By the way, what's up, Donkey? Love you, BB.
I was also so close to making a spice control the spice joke.
I know.
That
I
or
know.
the theory
There's
of
a
mind
donkey
killer.
in chat. What?
No.
What?
Donkey. You know, Donkey.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
he's all about that mowing and that plowing. You know.
One sex obsessed witcher.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you say it to him, and he nods and he says, "Know what? I need coin. Keep things on the table. But I'll give this to you for a bit of a discount, just to say, entice you to understand what kind of relationship we could build in, moving forward. Generally speaking, buying the supplies for this costs half the cost to make the potion, so it's usually 150 gold. But he's going to give you 30% off. So that's 150 times 0.7, 105 gold instead.
Beautiful. I'll take that from the sheet and I'll pay the man.
That's a lot of money. That's enough
Yep.
to definitely keep him
Also-
going for a while.
Yeah. Okay. So we're recouping the money that we spent on hiring all those people to take us north.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll thank you for his business and say, well, I'll be going to see this house on the hill. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, as I said, nobody would want to participate in outwardly illegal activity, of course. But if one were so inclined to be towards such things, I do have to say that the rumors are the local taverns have become a den of villainy and evil. You know, you might want to avoid such a place if you want to avoid talks about things like bounties or other activities that you probably do not want at all to be involved in. He gives a bit of a nod.
That's fine. I understand completely. Thank you. I hope to do business with you again.
He nods. Vic finally comes outside with a cup of tea. And then like he walks outside with a cup of tea. As you're like walking out, Neil's handed the cup of tea.
Thank you.
The door closes, it opens up again, and they come walking out. And it's at that like temperature where it's like, you know, you can get that tiny little sip, but it's like too hot to like properly sip yet. And you're like,
Oh, no tea.
Alexa played Doom Eternal.
Rip and tear.
I won't lie, I love that meme when the Doom music kicks in or whatever it is. Yeah.
I love it as well.
It's so good.
The music is excellent as well. That is a game that has a good soundtrack.
I just love it when it's goofy stuff like children beating up a like somebody dressed as like in a giant bunny suit or something like that. Like that's where it's like really funny. Or it's like kids inside of like a ball pit or something like, and then all of a sudden they just all go ham at once, and like it's just so funny.
There was a clip of like obviously like some sort of like daycare or fun like a thing where kids would go to play, and then there's just one adult in this room that's entirely covered in like soft pads and everything, so no one would get hurt. And it's just all of the kids trying to take down this one adult as he's just like knocking them away.
Was it the Doom music
playing? Yeah,
that's awesome.
Fantastic.
I love it. I saw one where it was Office Space, and it was a scene where they're beating up the Xerox, and it was in the Doom music kicks in. It was so good. It was so good. All right. So good.
All right, so
Neil,
does,
Office
Tristan
Space was a
drink his
movie
tea?
that was very popular in the early aughts. It had Jennifer Aniston in it. Never mind. Don't worry about it. You don't know what a Xerox machine is.
I know what a Xerox machine is. I just wouldn't call it a Xerox machine because we label things not by their brand, but by their function.
Well, mostly. Band-Aids exist.
We don't call them band-aids, we call them plasters.
Plastic
that's right, you
adhesive.
do.
Plastic adhesive bandages. Of course. Of course.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
Plasters. I actually have heard that before.
Anyways, so go ahead.
I like this. I'm seeing two distinct routes. We go and stay at Greyrus's for the night, or we go to the tavern for the night. It's good. There's a part of me that really wants to go and rip and tear, to be honest.
See, I'm
Yeah.
thinking that we make people think that we're going to handle the problem. You know, word gets around, nobody bothers us while we're at the house, and then we leave the next day.
Oh, wait, even better. We leave the next day and she is mysteriously gone.
She's not leaving though.
Isn't she?
No,
I thought
I'm going to
that's
try
what
and convince
thought-
her. No, she has it in case of emergencies. I asked her to come with us and
okay.
leave. She was like, nah, fam.
Oh, never
Listen.
mind. That
Brittany made me breakfast, and there's a little bit of avocado shell inside my omelet. I need to speak to her manager. Okay, I'm just saying this is unacceptable.
Scott,
I need recompense.
you want me to tell you why it's in there, right?
Just hoping I choke and die.
No, when you get older,
Alibi.
you need a little bit more fiber to keep everything going regularly, you know?
I have spinach. Oh,
No,
it's
you
green
need-
screening.
You need it. You
That
need
looks
a
really
you need a
weird.
good bit of fiber, Scott. We're not talking like some little pansy spinach. We're talking some hard avocado shell. You know, you got to scoop out the innards at this point.
Have you seen there's a series of TikToks going around that are disturbing because it's just like the person, for example, takes one of the things of a pineapple with like the good stuff on the inside and then eats the outside as well. And like it eats the shell of the watermelon and stuff like that. And it's like,
Weird. You know, the skin of a pineapple actually contains more of the enzymes that break down stuff. So there's a way of tenderizing meat where you literally just blend an entire pineapple and then put it in it, and it will cook it partially. It will tenderize it. The enzymes will break down the meat.
huh.
A woman I
Fun
used to
fact.
work with, because we always cut pineapple at work for various recipes in the restaurant industry. She would always take the pineapple like the outsides, because you obviously wash everything before you cut it, right? If you don't wash all of your fruit and vegetables, all of them, please do so. Anyway, so we'd wash them first. So she would take them afterwards and she would just put them all into a pot and she'd boil them and she'd make herself a pineapple tea. So just after she was done boiling it, she'd put it into a cup, put a tea bag inside there, and she would make like a pineapple tea. So I don't know what tea she used to blend it with, but it made her very happy. Okay, let's go. Where you guys going? Make a
God.
decision. Left or right? You stand at a
Now I'm
crossroads.
scared.
No. The quest stands at the edge of a knife. Stray, but a little. I said that you
hang
said
on,
butter
hang
a
on.
little.
we want.
We're the
We want
good
to-
party now.
Yeah,
So this is a good
chat
campaign.
know
Okay?
Yeah, but what's
we
the
are
good
against
action here?
the
That's the question.
slavery.
That's why this is why it's a dilemma, because what is a good action here?
Annoying.
Well,
like
let's head
don't-
back and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys pretty silently ride your way back up into the area. Sense motives from everybody, please.
I will maim. I will tear. Don't push me, Scott.
Okay. Gallon's got a pretty good beat on the situation again, seeing how things have kind of like really built up. What I would say is, as you guys approach, the guards that are there, the ones that you left behind, they push through to make a space for you, to make your way in, right? So they kind of like push out and open up an area for you to come in, which is good news. The gap closes behind you. Gallon, you get the impression, you guys going there, leaving, and going back there, number of guards that you've brought and how they're kind of like making these openings for you. You get the impression that this is kicking the bee's nest, if you will. You know what I mean?
Oh dear.
So
Yeah.
it's not like they jump into action right now, but you can definitely see like it's starting to buzz.
Before we get to the door, Viggo will kind of pull up a bit. Seems to be a little change in thing. Gallon, are you?
Gallon would nod, and you would hear Virgil's voice, which is just Gallon's but slightly different, in your head, basically saying, "I think we may have agitated things here by bringing the soldiers. If there was maybe we should make known that we're here for one night. They might delay. Whatever it is, they're angry."
Well, you heard. He's speaking softly, of course. You
Yeah.
heard what the merchant was saying. Tristan, we were told that there's more at play here. The local magistrate is even offering this house as anybody could claim it in a way if something happened to the mistress of the house. I kind of convinced him that we might be interested in that, and then he let slip that the tavern is definitely somewhere we didn't want to go if we were interested in that kind of thing. But looking around at things now, I don't know if staying here the night is going to do us any good. I don't know how you two are at convincing people, but maybe while I make this potion, you two could head to the tavern. You know, and make it seem like we might be interested when all we're doing is, how do I put it? Wasting time. We will, of course, inform the Lady Greyris, I believe, of all that's going on, and maybe convince her to come with us, because with somebody offering the house, more or less, as a prize for killing her, but not outright saying it, she'll be gone within days.
Can't she just write a will?
You would hear Virgil's voice in your head again. I'm not entirely sure that they plan to honor anything like that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's I don't know if she'll be able to get it out, because if the local magistrate's in on it, what will's going to be valid?
There are many things I don't like. And there are many things I do. I don't like corruption. This woman says she wants to atone. Whether or not that's true, she's closed the slave markets. Slavery is bad. These people are desperate. They want a way out. However, killing this woman won't do that for them.
They think it will.
There is one option we haven't yet considered. We brought extra soldiers.
We kill her and take the market.
That wasn't what I was going for.
Which is what the
If-
Yavin hair wanted.
If her being here, one, destabilizes things as far as the slave trade, and angers the rest of Juvencia, we could always help defend this.
Defend against the Yavance itself. That's not our mission, and that's not what we're here to
No,
do.
That's
I don't
why
like
was-
it as much as there's really nothing we can do. We might stave off one night, but even if we left the whole guard, look at how many people live here. She's a dead woman walking. She knows it, and they know it. We need to convince her to leave with us. That is the best we can do for her.
Okay.
He'll look at Galen and Tristan, like if you have any better ideas.
Nope. That was all it took for Galen. He was just suggesting alternatives, but that's the way you want to go. He's good with that.
Tristan? Thoughts?
The way that has the least people die is probably the best.
Do you two think you could mingle in the tavern?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Well, I fear that our coming here and the presence that is currently around this estate might bring on an attack tonight. We can stave off the attack for a night, then hopefully I can convince her to leave with us. She doesn't look like she's scared of death, but
I would.
Yeah.
I would pull you aside a bit, Jake, and then just make sure no one's able to see. And I'm going to pass you Virgil. Virgil can communicate. This is in your head again. Virgil can communicate with you and me, no matter how far away I am. Well, within a mile, I should say. Actually, that's a good point. Is the tavern within a mile?
The town is not incredibly small, so it's kind of like sparse, because it's like built up, but there's like different parts to it. So this is like up on a hill and kind of like separated away. So from her estate, it's probably just over, probably a little over a mile away. But like from like where you were at the herbalist shop, all that would be within a mile of its, because you're standing at a center point.
That's
2
more
miles,
annoying.
Oh.
In that case, I wouldn't do that. I would.
Yeah.
I could set Virgil up in a position just under a mile from the tavern where he can keep an eye on the hill. If anything happens, we'll know.
Well, I leave it up to you two. Going to the tavern is dangerous. It is dangerous in its own sense. While it may stop an attack, you two may be attacked. And our mission is, once again, of greater importance. If you think that it would be better off us just hunkering down here for the night, hoping it goes through without any attacks during the night, then as he's saying, he's probably like, it's probably the safer thing to do. I don't want to put either of you in harm's way, and going to an inn by yourselves, even how easy it seems to be to get these people to think that we're there to do away with the woman. I can't see the risk outweighing the reward.
Can you make booze?
Takes
Right.
time. Making alcohol takes time.
Is it an alchemy thing?
I can make wine. Yeah.
How much?
Oof. Give me a sec. Where is that? Where does it say how much, Scott?
To make alcohol?
Yeah, one.
Alcohol takes a long time to make. You don't just brew it overnight. Like it takes months.
No, tears to wine.
Oh, it makes what? Like one water skin? And a water skin's like a gallon, maybe?
1 cubic foot.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cubic foot. What's the volume of a cubic foot?
/ 2 levels of liquid.
Hold
Whatever
on.
that means.
Volume of a cubic foot
I just had the best idea.
is 7.48.
idea,
So
but an idea.
about 7.5 gallons. That's a lot. So you said 1 cubic foot per. What level are you?
I'm level 4.
So that's what, 2 gallons? Sorry, 2 cubic feet. So that's
Yeah, and I can actually do this 4 times.
about 15 gallons. In 1 second.
Jesus.
I think I'm pretty sure
15
that's
gallons?
I think that's a half barrel, like a typical keg of ale. Amount of liquid in a keg.
Scott, I have a question about the whole telepathic voice thing.
Oh my god. So sorry, I got interrupted you for a second. So a
That's
full
okay.
let's see. So a half barrel is 15.5 gallons. I thought so. So you are 0.6 about of a gallon away from a half barrel. A half barrel is your typical, like if you see in a pub, like those big giant metal things that are heavy as fuck. You know what I mean? That you get alcohol out of, not like the torpedo ones or whatever. Like you can literally make a keg of wine. That is a lot of alcohol. As somebody who threw many keg parties in my life, that is a lot of alcohol.
What about if we get the
And
mob?
wine is a much higher ABV than beer. Like
if we
much
get
higher.
The mob absolutely stinking drunk until they can't attack.
Yeah, smiles. I could do that. They might be a little wary.
As
But,
thanks from a local merchant for their hospitality.
Scott, what I wanted to ask is, with telepathic voice, can I make it sound like a whisper to them, like a hushed sort of tone?
No, if you do the telepathic thing, it's just straight up voice and head.
And
You
they
know
know
what I mean?
it's in their head. They don't think they heard it.
It's
or
voice.
anything?
It's definitely voice and head. Yeah,
Damn it!
yeah. That'd be a separate thing.
I was gonna try and like make maybe a couple of people in the crowd hear. I hear they're only gonna be here for a day. Or-
Didn't Jake just get Whispering Wind, too? Isn't that funny? Did you get
No,
that?
you gave me,
okay. I thought you did. Sorry.
Yeah, and I can't use it anyway. It's not an alchemist formula. Okay, then let's get some barrels. Let's see what we can do.
So what? Sorry, what's the plan?
We're gonna
I
get
was
them drunk.
formulating a different plan.
We're just gonna get
We're getting
the
everybody
mob out
fucking
front.
drunk.
We're just gonna get them absolutely pissed off the face so they can barely walk.
That is so very risky because if we don't get them drunk enough, it'll go bad.
Yeah.
Of
If we don't
course.
get them drunk to the point they can't walk, they still won't be able to swing a sword. They'll still be dazed.
No, but they can wield fire.
Well, yeah.
And we're giving
But
them
you
fuel
two
for
will
the
be
fire.
drinking little amounts with them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and the guards too. We're friends. Remember,
Okay.
we've just come from the capital.
Well, you know what you can do, Jake, because you have the way it works is you create a ton of liquid gets turned into wine, right? What you could always do is you could take 2 barrels, turn the liquid in those 2 barrels, like actual physical barrels, into wine, pour some of that wine out of one barrel into the other one, ladle it over, whatever, and then fill that second barrel up with a bit of water. This is a more watered down one. And then you have some of the wine is watered down, some of the wine is stronger. They're intrinsically going to want to be like, oh, this one's kind of shit. And they're going to want to drink from the other one. Whereas these two just more often than not continue drinking from the watered down one. You know what I mean? Like that way it's not even like
That's a
some
good
weird,
point.
it's just like basic, like very obvious. People are like, oh, this is shit wine. Oh, this is better wine. You know, and you guys go, I kind of like
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You know, like pretty basic
That'll work.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we make money from them too.
Wow. What are you charging? Oh, $5
They-
a head
they-
to go to the
they
need
keg
to do
party?
it for free. We need
They
to
do
do it
not
for
have
free.
money.
All right.
I'll
They
tell you
do
right
not
now.
have money to pay.
Only once ever I charged $5 a head to come to the keg party, and it was such a hassle trying to actually track down and get money from people. I was like, I will never do that again. Bring alcohol if you want to bring it, or just show up and drink whatever's here. I'm not like this person, because it just adds like an animosity and an awkwardness to what should otherwise just be get drunk and have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
it
still
should all be at
remember-
someone else's expense, right?
Well, it's usually
That's
at
how
my
capitalism
expense.
works.
It's
Yeah.
usually my expense. I was at the
I
nerd
still-
throwing party for friends. So go ahead.
Oh, let's do it.
I
get
still
it.
remember the richest person I knew growing up had like a wall TV screen and like a mansion house. Is the only person that ever made us pay for bowling at his birthday party.
That's what's her name? Vid made a joke about that this past Saturday as I was talking about the wedding I was at. He was like, "Well, now you know they're rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Only offering Corona and Bud Light at their wedding at their home that's easily worth over $2 million." Like, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's do it. Let's do this plan.
Cool. So you what was I getting at?
Fetch the barrels.
So you go and you get barrels of alcohol. Where are you doing this? And
Um,
bloop that spell into chat for me because I want to check something. And where are you like getting the barrels from? Filling up with
Servants'
liquid.
quarters.
So at
So-
her estate.
No, not at her estate. Should we?
Why not?
We shouldn't get from her estate. It
Why
looks like
not?
she's doing it. But we want to look like we're doing it.
The boat, I'm sure it had some supplies
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
That would be barrels.
Oh my god, I
Get
love
it from
this.
the boat.
I love the idea that you can just get because it only lasts for what 40 minutes. But that it stays.
No,
as
the wine. No, the wine. It stays as wine. It's
but
the other part.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I love the
enhancement
idea
bonus or
that you
whatever
can
it
just
is
get like
goes.
the barrels that people like piss into, like get the
Yeah.
piss buckets and just like turn piss into wine.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're not
I wonder
wrong.
if it'd work with the
You're
lake
I
water.
don't like what you're saying, but you're not wrong.
Rain barrels are fine enough. We don't need to make this an Anno situation. I'm just saying, if there's a floating turd in there, when it turns to wine, the turd will still.
I don't know. Hey, at least we're not in Hard Gwen, where we'll open up a rain barrel. There'll be a dead guy in there.
But it wasn't this town. It was the next town over where you would find a body with no head. I think it was in Reddit Slav. So 2 towns over where you would find a body with no head inside of a random barrel somewhere. Yep.
All right. Let's get this party started. All right.
All right. So you get a couple of like rain barrels or whatever it is. You just take it. People are like, "Hey, that's my rain barrel." "I'll fucking kick your ass, mate." Take it. It's all yours.
Just turns to this and goes, "Yeah, nah, mate," and then walks off with it.
As like all the weaponry on both of us is just clink, clink, clink. He's like, okay.
Mind you, these barrels, just to keep it in your head, these aren't like small personal whiskey. These are barrels, like rain barrels.
This is,
If
yeah.
you've ever seen one, so they're big. Half barrels are half that size, right? So you could take one full size rain barrel full of liquid, and that is dump out just a little bit. That's how much you can turn into wine, to be clear. Okay. So like 90% full rain barrel. Either way, so you do this, you turn it into the wine. And how are you boys transporting this? I imagine you want to get a wagon to throw it up on there, but like, how are you acquiring the means to grab this and bring it to the tavern and blah, 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 blah.
No, I think we should take it to the mob outside rather than the town.
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing.
Trish can just roll it.
Right?
We can
It's not
roll it
proper.
together.
It has to be properly sealed, but yeah.
It is properly sealed, otherwise the wine comes out, Scott. You monkey.
There's a rain barrel.
It's a one-way seal.
Imagine if this spell existed in real life. Let's just stop and think about that for a second.
Mm.
Like, it makes me want to play a wizard or sorcerer, actually, because you can cast it more often, and just have my own wine industry. Like, yeah, I know I make like shit wine, like it's from Australia or something like that. But like, hey, it sells.
We have
It
good
sells
wine, thank
volume.
you. We have very good wine.
Not the wine that comes to
but
America.
We also have goon sacks. So
Like
No,
bare,
we do have that.
barefoot and stuff like that. Ooh.
let me get it clear.
I've not heard of that.
And we have an
so there you
insanely
go.
good wine industry. So our good wine is amazing. We just also have goon
Yeah.
sacks.
But that's everywhere has good and bad wine.
I don't know. The wine lasts forever. So either way, the the wines that from Australia that I'm familiar with are the ones that we sell 1.5 liters for like $8.
Yeah, you get them in like a carton. Stop buying the cheap stuff.
I don't buy that crap. It's nasty. I like Italian wine. So
That's what
Or Argentinian.
Kids, like
French wine.
18-year-olds and less. They take it to the clothesline and then
Goon
play
sacks.
Goon of Fortune. Yeah.
Goon of-
Spit around
my
and then whoever
yes.
don't give me crap about shit wine. We have ice wine up here. We have wine out of Washington State is pretty good. We have, and I personally like to drink Argentinian or Italian wine. So I don't really like French wine.
Goon of Fortune.
So
It's been a while since I've heard Goon of Fortune.
Yeah.
either way, so let's keep going. The you guys get the barrel, but you have to. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to try to make some checks to pull this off without people realizing like we're checking a barrel, casting a spell on it, rolling it up there, and being like, So, and how is it that it's not awkward that the people they saw leave and come back and leave and now come back with wine? How is that not awkward? How are you not? How do you intend to? Like, yeah, I know we're meeting with the devil here, but I'm just saying
Look,
we're on your
these-
side too.
Listen,
Yeah, but
we've
your
come from the
vance.
capital. We've come from the capital. You know why we're here. That's what it is. And they know. They know why we're here.
Oh, this is going to go so poorly.
Okay, so
He's a merchant. He's come from the capital. And you know the way to keep profits is by keeping the people happy. And this is the least that Magpie thought he could do.
Exactly. Well said. I couldn't have said it better.
So, you guys, how are you getting this barrel and collecting and doing all this stuff without them noticing? What's the technique we're going to do here? Let's acquire the barrel. I'm going to need lack of better phrasing, sleight of hand or stealth or intimidate or diplomacy or coin.
I will take an intimidate, where like someone comes around to the alley and Triss is just like horse behind him and he's just like, keep walking.
Roll it for me, baby. Okay, that was sexy. You're trained in this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1d8 plus your modifier. All right, now for the spell to work, Jake, you don't even need a roll. You just automatically succeed with your spell because that's just how the magic works for the scenario. But you want to try to have the wine, even though it's average quality, match the what would be something that's considered like more regional, like people would be like diving into, because you want them to not be like, oh, well, I guess I'll drink it, even though it's Australian wine. You know, so you want them to actually drink it. So why don't you go ahead and roll me a spellcraft check? You're trained in this, correct?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Where's that confidence, man? I mean,
Are you happy with your 17? I know you guys aren't regicide with like 32 luck dice right now. Regicide got some love.
Do you want to keep it at that? What do you want to do?
Luck it, because I don't want to have to slaughter an entire civilization of peasants.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll me your 1d8 plus modifier, which I think is intelligence. No,
wait, am I supposed to roll a 1d8 as well? I know you said
1d8 plus your modifier that affects intimidate. You 1d8 plus your modifier that affects spellcraft, and for you, Tesh.
When you say modifier, do you mean
whatever affects intimidate? So I think it's charisma.
My total modifier, yeah.
No.
Yeah, charisma. Cool.
Yeah. And Tesh.
So I keep forgetting athletics isn't a thing in this. Acrobatics is the only thing to try and like lever it onto a thing carefully and stuff like that.
Well, there's the acquiring of the wagon as opposed to putting it on the wagon. Because I'm not worried about putting on the wagon. You got a couple of strong boys. And you have a horse, so I'm not worried about that either. But acquiring the wagon and then convincing the people are the last two checks. And Jake is not allowed to participate in that last one.
Acquiring the wagon.
I can't participate in convincing.
No, you got to go inside and talk to the lady.
Okay.
What about the herbalist? He'd have an old wagon lying about. He definitely doesn't have a horse.
That is definitely an option. That would be a diplomacy check to convince him, and actually not a very difficult one. That would reduce the difficulty of the diplomacy check.
Who wants to roll it?
That is not something I can be a part of.
Well, no.
Can I not do that before this?
Hold on, Tesh.
Hold
on, Tesh. You can because remember this is like a skill challenge, right? So Tesh, you can definitely do that. You get a +5 because he wants to help you.
I have 0. I am not trained in it. No.
That's okay though, because if you succeed, you still add a D4 to the overall, which is a 15, which isn't bad.
But I'm trained.
Yeah.
Would I not?
What's your modifier?
Can I let him?
You're acquiring the barrel while he's casting the spell, and the other one's going to get the the wagon. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
and you get a +5
to do it
for him wanting to help you, because that was a really good option from Neil.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I saw your Aid of the Martyr, but your Aid of the Martyr specifically said for messy. And unless you're referring to Neil, because, your name is actually Brittany, Summon Snake is actually secretly Brittany, and don't know the difference between the two. I assumed you meant for Friday.
Iron Monkey and Summon Snake.
Yeah, are the same person.
So
that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, well, obviously she's going to need a Summoned Snake.
It's better than Iron Snake and Summoned Monkey.
Is it? Imagine though, like you go to the bar and like some ruffians giving you a hard time, and you go, Giggles, and you click your finger, and this chimpanzee just
you get an erection.
lands on this boy.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, except chimpanzees aren't monkeys.
Yeah, but this one is a
Okay,
chimpanzee
so-
with a tail, Dragon Ball Z style.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so they're Saiyans. Gotcha.
Okay, so I guess I'm doing diplomacy then.
Yeah, you got this, Tesh.
Yeah, it was a +5 with a +5 with a +5.
Just give it some panache.
He's like, hey, bobbity boopy, a bobbity 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 boopy.
And the herbalist just like slowly backs away
That
into the building, like, take it and go.
What's good is that didn't include the +5.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
saw that because it's a raw 14. Do you want to luck your 19?
What,
He wants
what do
to
you
give
guys
it
think?
to you. Just like drop something by the wagon and pick it up.
This guy
How
wants to
many
help
lucks?
us already.
We only have
I
we
reckon.
only have
And
one.
snap.
I'll leave it.
Well,
Leave it 'cause we only have one now.
he wants to help you is the +5, to be clear. That doesn't change the DC.
It's not going to be a
Okay.
DC.
But Neil
20
is saying
compose,
bend
so.
and snap. Bend and snap. So stupid. It's like one of the worst parts of that movie. Oh, God.
I think 19 is okay for this, considering it's borrowing a wagon and he'll want to lend it to us given the situation,
If he doesn't, run him
given the
through.
conversations before.
He's just a filthy slaver. Who cares?
Excuse me, mate. You're free. Congratulations on your new job. Lovely the shop.
All right, stop tormenting Tesh.
All right, yeah.
Tell him if he's good.
Okay, Tesh, you're not good. You're great. So
Fucking goddamn.
That was evil. Truly evil.
That was evil.
Anyways, such a lame joke. So you are able to acquire the wagon for the crew. He'll let you borrow it, but he wants it returned back the next day because he needs it for transporting all of his goods. He has so many of them.
His dried
I'm
goods.
very busy.
His sacks of dried goods. Have you ever raked leaves? They get heavy.
He's literally just going around taking leaves out of gutters now. Like, anyone want some herbs?
It reminds me of in high school when people would grind up oregano and try to sell it as pot. It's like, smells like pizza, mate. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, so yeah, so you would go and acquire that. That brings it down to Jake, you splitting off from the others, and the other two going ahead and trying to convince
He gets
them.
a roll of 1d something, right?
Oh, 1d4, flat 1d4 because he has no modifier. Yes, and oh, sexy! You're up to a 19, baby.
Well
Again.
done.
So and now Neil, you are imagining doing the convincing for this last part because it comes back round to you. You're going to go to the convincing of the people. This is going to be a deception roll to convince them you're from a cat. Oh, even though you're not, you have no accents that suggests that you're from the capital of
He's
Yovance
not.
and-
He's not lying. We came from the capital.
That's okay. Listen, saying I
That's not
physically
what-
traveled from the capital and imparting the meaning, I came from the capital for XYZ. Jake's got a girlfriend over right now, and he doesn't want to showcase her yet. They're still at the budding part of their relationship. It's still new, so he doesn't want to like. He's trying to keep it private. I get it. Listen, I hope everything works out for you, Jake. I hope things progress, but in the meanwhile, you keep it private. So, anyways, the when you come into bed, Neil,
Oh my god.
deception.
Deception isn't a skill, Scott.
My apologies. Or diplomacy, really, but bluff is needed.
I mean, I'd rather do diplomacy, but if you say it's bluff, then it's gonna have to be bluff, I guess.
Ooh.
Oof.
So, okay.
Sorry,
Oh.
but I was like, if they catch on at this point, then all of that's for nothing, and they're gonna go apeshit at us.
You guys, with the exception of that one, you've had some really good luck dice this session. Okay, you've rolled 3 times, and 2 good, 1 bad. Okay.
Yeah, and we're done. Why is Regicide getting luck dice? They don't need luck dice, guys. They need anti-demon dice.
Did
he
he pause
Josh-
for you there?
Yeah, he did. He has an issue right now. So Josh, it's all Josh. Josh is went in there and he dumped about 30 luck dice for them.
God, I wish Josh would dump his load on me and my party.
I heard the choice of word dump, and
Yeah,
I knew what Neil was going to do.
I wish Josh would, and I was like, I know where it's going.
Clip
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Clip that.
Unload on me, like
Clip that and send that to or tag Josh in the Discord. He needs to know.
I think you want Josh to tag you, but that's cool, man. You know, I support love. Love is love. So,
So he's a dad now, right?
Yeah,
He's
that's right.
forbidden good.
Full dad bod and everything. He's all in. He's all in. There's no coming back. Yeah.
The forbidden fruit.
Yes. It was so funny that an article came out in a magazine that says like girls now find dad bod sexy, and it's like, no, they don't. They just take they take the L. Girls is just taking the L because they know this is life. You know, so that's all. They don't watch Aquaman because dad bods are in. You know, just saying. You know, and they're not watching Henry Cavill because they're like, oh man, if Henry Cavill had a dad bod,
Henry Cavill got ruined for me the other day. Someone was just like, you know what I see every time I see him?
Yeah.
Butt nose. And now I can't unsee butt nose.
Butt nose.
Butt nose.
Send it over. Either way, in the
Just remember
meanwhile-
him reloading his biceps.
Yeah, I mean the man is
Have you seen that
well-ripped.
clip? It's
I
like
haven't.
from Mission Impossible. He's just
Oh.
Look,
Oh, that's right. That movie was not good. I loved it. So I love the MI movies. The only really good one was the first one, but
it's going in
Right.
Inclement spoilers, a gift that just it really.
But spoiler alert, if you've never watched the first Mission Impossible, but it's been since like 1987, so get over yourself. The best part of the first one is that everyone dies. With the exception of what's his face? Not Ethan Hunt, but whatever his name is. Everyone dies. It's amazing. It's like one of the best parts about that movie. It was like a game changer. It was so good. But moving on. So you guys get the barrels there, are able to convince the people. Oh, no. Neil, are you trained in this skill or no?
Yes, I'm fairly certain I am. Let me.
In
double
deception and bluff, sorry. If you're not, then it's a D.
Bluff. It is a class skill, but I don't have a rank in it.
But it's a class skill. So you have 1d6 plus your modifier, which I think is +1.
1d6 plus 1.
That gets us up to a 22. So you guys are going there and convincing these people to have some drink, and they're getting their drink on. Awesome. As for you, Jake, you go into the house to speak with Grayrus and to produce the potion. Producing the potion takes yes.
just as a note, considering the situation, I would have Virgil with Jake, just so I know what's going on inside.
So Jake, to be clear, with producing that potion, usually a potion takes a minimum 8 hours to make, and but there's a maximum amount that you can make it over the course of time. Yeah, I
You've
don't.
got a helping hand to produce this potion.
I don't think you have a means of doing that a little bit quicker, do you?
I did not.
Okay, I didn't think you had like fast alchemy or whatever to allow you to do it quicker.
No.
Cool. So it takes you 8 hours. But that being said, you imagine you work like late into the night or whatever it is, or whatever. You also want to speak with Grayrus?
Yeah, I probably should.
But I don't know if I ever gave Grayrus a first name, but I feel like it should be Minerva. I know there's already another Minerva. But...
Yes, it's a leaf or something. Let me double check. It'll be in my Rarin notes.
The last character to keep notes in all of the Aurorum campaigns.
Yeah, well, Rarin actually kept notes.
Yeah,
I didn't
Rayron
keep
was the
notes.
last
This guy did-
character.
Like you be sure. Tris does not keep notes.
Yep. Neither do any of the other PCs. So moving on.
I keep
have
notes in this
notes.
campaign. Thank you.
Cell
I have
also
some
keeps
notes.
notes. Cell is actually probably the most brilliant note keeper out of all of them.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I said that. Cell is like if we took Neil and we brought him back to the nubile self that he once was.
I knew
Yeah,
exactly
I was laughing
where
because
you
I
were going with
opened
that.
I laughed because I opened my notes and I'm like, the last two notes I have
Yeah,
Lady
Alif.
Greyrus and Strandana. Legion.
Lady
That's
Alif.
it.
Lady Alif Greyrus.
Leaf, gotcha. So moving on, you go over there and you to speak with her. Jake, I'll allow you to open conversation.
I have the things needed to make this for you. I'll get to it in a minute. Though I did want to tell you that you're not long for this place, and I mean that because I've heard it. Let me tell you, it has gotten to the point where the local magistrate has said, when you go, whoever lays claim to this place will get this place. I want you to understand what you're doing and staying. Sometimes it's not the wrong thing to be able to fight another day.
How much longer do you estimate that I have? If you were to guess in, well, hopefully at least weeks, but whatever measurement of time you think
Well,
is most appropriate.
We are, I think with our coming here, unfortunately, may have hastened it even more so. I have my men outside dealing with the problem for tonight. But once we go, they could, as soon as we leave, come straight through. I will offer you the same offer I made before. Come with us and keep doing good.
If I abandon my post, it would all have been for naught. The bloodshed, the pain, fires. It would all have been for nothing. It was a perfect opportunity. The same time I was starting this, the lakes turned, well, belly up. I don't think an opportunity like this will exist again.
Look at the experience you've gotten here. There are people that have heard about you. You can die and hope you become a martyr here. Or you can use what you've learned here and try and gather some more backing. Do some more good.
I won't be a martyr. Nobody will sing to my praises. And I probably don't deserve it anyways.
Then don't throw your life away for nothing. Because all the good that you've done and all that you will do, if you throw your life away, it's what is it worth? Come with us.
She says it's a chance. If I cowardly back away, if I retreat, am I any better than my son?
You will die here. Viggo says, and he's serious. You will die, and you will die soon. You say you're not afraid of death. You will be.
Those last moments. She shakes her head. Making that potion, it takes time, doesn't it?
It does.
And unfortunately, time is not on our side. I think I'm going to have to back away from my original request and offer. I think I have a different task for you instead, merchant. Though something tells me that you are no merchant. Your accent.
I have an impeccable accent, mate. I have a fucking impeccable accent.
She says, your accent. You're not from around here. An alchemist? An alchemist? From where?
Dale originally.
Taziendale. I mean, there are Perrin that live all over. But with your bone structure, the way you carry yourself, Taziendale?
He's a hobgoblin, by the way.
No, he's not.
No, what?
She says...
I'm Perrin.
He's Perrin. She says...
Yeah.
She says... I can't pinpoint where you're from, but I'm putting my money on Paradel. Paradel, definitely. I don't know what you're doing over here, but I'm going to say this. I have a different task for you. If you could deliver a message for me. If you can get a message out for me, I would appreciate it. It's to a very specific someone. He's come to my... She says, he's come to my defense once before. She looks up and... She looks up and across the room through the doorway of the room that you guys happen to be sitting in. And if you follow her eyes, it's strange. It looks like she's looking at the front door. She kind of like blinks and turns her head back to you and says, hopefully he will once again. With people that are willing to aid. To the southern parts of the lake. I don't want to retreat. You said he's getting them drunk. They're getting them drunk outside.
They are.
You arrived with many soldiers. Do you depart with them?
That is the plan.
How much did you pay for those soldiers?
I don't remember. Out of game.
Wasn't much. It's like
100
100 G.
it was 100 and something.
How about I pay you for the potion that you will not craft and instead you deliver a message for me?
A message to who? And where?
To the northern parts of the lake. Any one of the towns up there, I'm sure, will suffice, as long as you don't see active conflict happening. And deliver a message. It's meant for particular... I'm going to try to the rank. Not Magister. Master. Right? Because it goes... Hold on. I'm so sorry. It's... I can't think of the ranks in my head. I think it's Master is the name of the rank. It's just been a hot minute. There we go. It's meant for a master Venator. It's meant for a master Venator by the name of Oscar McLaughlin.
Who is he?
He's a friend.
I would recognize that title, wouldn't I?
Yeah, Master Venator, absolutely. That's a Venator is somebody who's specifically trained in fighting mages and fighting magical beasts. And a master
also
is
likely the sort of person that, with my skill set, I'd be worried about.
Yeah. So, and just as a reminder, there are two different tiers. So there's recruits, which are called apprentices. Then soldiers are either called hedge, magi, or master. And then officers are either magister or savant, right? So, because it's a very simple ranking structure. So, being a master means he's a not an officer, but a soldier that is tried and true and has earned their rank through likely bloodshed. You know, what's up, sir?
What role would I need to make that connection?
As to who they are, or what they are?
As to it's a Maltese military, right?
Oh yeah, you can pick that up
pretty. Tell him through Virgil.
Yeah, but I well, you're not really listening to what's happening here at the moment, right? So, because you're partying and trying to be.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You try to keep your own ass alive. So Virgil will inform you if something important happens, right? So and Virgil wasn't with you when you went through your past. So there's
That's
less of
true,
a connection. So
Very good point.
what's Virgil's personality?
Heroic, meticulous.
Yeah, so I would say not in this scenario. So back to you, Jake.
He might tell me about this later, but he may not know.
Like, will be meticulous in its reporting to you. Correct.
Yeah.
So Jake, back to you. You would easily know that's a Maltese military. The name Venator is something that you would only know because you specifically studied in magical training and the concerns of if you ever come across a Venator being from Paradel. You know, these are the guys that hunt you.
I'm an alchemist, mate. I'm not a wizard.
Same difference. Anybody who's going to be anybody who utilizes special tactics like that, yeah.
He looks at her and he says, "So, you presume my lovely Tasian self is from Paradel, and you would like me to go and seek out a member of the Maltese military that hunt people that use or control magic in any sense."
I want you to get a message to him. You don't have to interact with him directly. He's a good lad. He wouldn't dip his spear to just anybody.
You'll only break your
They're all
fingers,
good
mate.
lads, aren't they?
She shakes her head and says, I'm not a Maltese. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend what their people do or don't do. I'm referring to an individual, not the organization.
We all know you know a couple of awesome Maltese. Come on.
Out of curiosity, the boat where our boat is, it goes into the lake, right?
The river does come up into the lake, but it's specifically a riverboat.
Well, we were still planning on taking it further north. So
East,
would it be able
along
to
the
go on
coast.
lake?
East along the coast you'd be able to do, and it probably could, yeah. She's suggesting, of course, crossing the lake.
Yeah.
We have to go out of our way for that.
That would be out of your way, yeah. Because Tikakapro, which is the next town along the way, that's not controlled by the rebels as far as is known.
Yeah, no, the issue is how much of a delay as well.
And even the town of, I think it's called Bezo.
Do we have a map?
You wouldn't know that. Here, it is here.
Guy inside.
What's
Is
this
there
called?
a command for the full world map yet?
Yeah, what do I call it? Do I call it a Malta? What do I have it as? I have a command for the map. Oh, well, let me just toss the link in chat, but I have a command for the map.
Aurorum?
I wrote a Malta instead of Aurorum. There you go. I forgot
it is
my
Aurorum.
continent.
Okay.
My planet, I
Yeah, I
should
was
say.
going to say a Malta. I'm like, that's a weird one.
It really shouldn't even be Aurorum. It should be Eros.
Eroth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It is actually quite a. Ooh.
So you have to
He'll
cross
look
the
at
lake to the
her
north.
and he'll say, you say you don't believe I'm a merchant. You would be wrong. But if you haven't heard, they're crowning a new Joven here. And where there's big events like that is the perfect place to make money. This
She
would
nods.
put me rather behind to the point where I may miss what I'm doing. I want to help you, but I also have business of my own. I offer to keep you safe and help you retreat from here. But even if I delivered your message, Lady Gross, you're not going to be alive to see it sent through. Whatever you're hoping will happen, you won't be here for it.
Then do me another favor. Instead, leave the guards. You're heading to a non-conflict zone. If you're heading to Paradel to run at Slav. You're going over by way of Tikakopro, certainly a town that's also been devastated by the lakes mishap, but at the same time is close enough to the border of Paradel, other trade was able to be maintained. Tikakopro is not a conflict zone like here. You won't need the guards. Leave them with me.
There's like 12 of them. There's about 40 people outside.
She nods.
And you would have to take over their current contract as well as pay me out.
If I'm going to be dead, what do I need money for?
Yes, but you don't need to bring those down with the guards down with you if you're so intent on dying.
Are they good warriors? Are they capable of fighting?
They are. This is not a small town.
She shakes her head and says, I know, but those that are most capable, or at least that are most willing at the moment, are all getting drunk as we speak. Shall we say fish in a barrel?
Oh shit, she means to attack them first.
I'm not doing a red wedding.
You already are, mate. Ain't your call.
Oh dear. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, this reminds me. This reminds me of when.
Listen, remember, she has an evil background, okay?
Stop.
She's changing.
Listen, this reminds me of when Grishka first caught her, when he told all her men to lay down their arms, and then they killed them all. They slaughtered everyone in that cave. Those slaver scum. Man.
Listen, she has an evil backbone to her. She's trying to
Yeah.
be good, but
Well, I mean, he's gonna say
using these tactics for
he-
good. Did we get the Norway
Ew.
stamp of approval? Go ahead, Jake.
I don't know. He's flabbergasted. So he looks at her mouth open. I thought you were seeking atonement. What you're saying is to murder 40 people while they're drunk and possibly asleep.
She says,
Do you, if once this gets out, word will reach wherever we're going before we get there. Not only that, the whole town will burn this house to the ground.
she says,
You are an intelligent woman, but you are making very silly mistakes.
I'll be honest with you. I am at wit's end, floundering with desperation.
I'm giving you a way out.
She shakes her head.
Take it.
I do not want out. I have made
Then
my
go
bed.
upstairs, grab the dagger next to your bed, and do it yourself, because that is what you are doing.
Every additional day that I draw breath continues to slow
There
down.
won't be any more days. Listen, woman, you will be dead. I am telling you, they plot in the tavern as we speak. Store owners are more or less soliciting people to come here and kill you. You will die. Listen to me.
Diplomacy check. Or intimidate if you think it's more appropriate.
No.
He's like, no. I have points of diplomacy. No. I'm not scary. I'm not scary. It's pretty solid. Do you want to modify it?
I'm going to try and luck it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You do have luck. You do have luck. That was on me. That was on me. That was on me. Do it now. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
That was going to be a 4 as well, Scott. I just want you to know that.
Ah. Stop your belly aching, mate. All right. So, anyways, you, yeah. So, she listens as you like literally raising your, as you raise your voice and goes, I understand your point, but what point would there be of my leaving? If I retreat, if I run, if I live tomorrow instead of die today, what point would there be in my running? If they take this place, am I going to try to reuse the legal system to take back what belongs to me after the legal system, by your own claim, is looking to pass it off or to side with those that are looking to seek my end? You think that Yovance itself doesn't see me as an affront, doesn't want to make a point out of me? I'm not going to have a ground to stand on if I retreat.
You're looking to change what's going on here. You stop the slave markets. All right. You're looking for change. When a commander loses a battle, sometimes it's best to retreat, to regather your strength, and come back and win the war. Seek this person, a Maltese person, stir up a rebellion, change things. If you die here, it dies with you. Use your brain. Like I said, you are a smart woman. If you throw your life away, it is all for nothing.
Very well. You make too fine of points.
Stand up. I'm going to make that potion. You will use it. You will go to the boat. Gather whatever you have here.
And what of those that are under my care?
Like I said, sometimes it's best for the commander to retreat. You don't leave them to die, but send them on their way. They want you.
If we
They
take
want you.
If we take one of my ships rather than whatever you came in on, there's enough room we could take more, but it would be a bit of a mass exodus. It would be a bit obvious. We could go that path instead. She says it, but honestly, her tone has changed from her typical stubborn and self-confident person to she sounds a bit more meek or defeated right now. So it's kind of like it's almost like she's trying to throw spaghetti at the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen. Make change sometimes requires sacrifice.
I'm so sorry, Jake. Tash, that was really funny. Oh. That would be awesome. Oh my god, we should actually make like Daelric bingo sheets.
Now we just have to recruit Beltran for Paradel. All right.
No, I meant, but like it has to be full Aurorum. It can't be just for like one campaign. So you have to like watch all the sessions of a week. Assuming they'll actually play that week. And like try to get bingo throughout the week. That'd be so funny.
That'd be good.
Yeah, it would be good. Oh god, that's so funny. So anyways, maybe for my birthday. Ooh, maybe Brittany could put something together. Anyways, so can you please feed that line again?
That group.
I don't remember what I said. Something
I'm
about
so sorry.
Sometimes sacrifices need to be made for the greater good. I'm
You
not
say
suggesting that we, throw them to the wolves, but they go. They go tonight. And maybe tonight we burn this house down.
Oh, so much for the future Patreon or mainstream campaign that eventually wanted to have this house as their base of operations.
Well, she's going to die in this house tonight.
All right, so hey, listen, guys, if you want to make those suggestions, put it inside a Aurorum community, and we'll talk about it later.
It's actually a pretty good, fuck you to the people who wanted to use it as a new bed for
If you burns down the house and the boats and everything, just like burn down everything that man owned at one point in time, like
Yeah,
It
I
is a
mean,
big
the
FU.
market it's going to take a long time for the market to come back anyway.
That's funny. And if she's not technically dead, technically speaking, they can't legally own the market.
Oh, that's
That,
good.
that, that would take
they're gonna-
litigation.
They'd have to think she's dead now, though.
Not necessarily if there's no boats to follow. If all the boats are either being destroyed or crossing, they can't follow.
I can talk to you, right, Tesh?
You can talk
yes.
to. You can talk to.
You can talk
Virgil.
to Virgil,
yeah.
who can talk to me.
He says to Virgil, do I talk in my mind to Virgil?
Virgil.
So,
So more or less, if you give Virgil the sign, like let's say you kind of like, I don't know where Virgil is. Let's say it's in your pocket. If you give Virgil like a double tap, like you're doing like some Star Trek stuff right there, Virgil will institute a telepathic link with you.
telepathic link, yeah.
And which you can do with
Telepathic.
anybody within 30 feet, and then it can do up to a mile to Tesh.
Yeah.
All right. So what I do the Virgil tap,
Yep.
and then I say,
Beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah. Beep, beep.
Gallon, is there anyone who has been rather mouthy about wanting to kill her, like rather straightforward?
Okay. Has there been anyone who's been particularly boastful?
That's a good question. That's kind of a gather information, so it's more of a diplomacy. Don't forget that drinking the alcohol increases your wisdom. I think for a little bit. What does it increase?
Can I do
Wisdom
bluff?
and int +2.
Yeah, so it
Could I do
doesn't.
bluff as in like to try and get them to talk?
No, diplomacy is gather
they'll be
information.
getting more drunk, and you know when people get drunk, they just spew stuff like information as well. You know what I mean? So
Okay, so diplomacy.
Um,
I can't do sense motive.
no, this is because you're literally just trying to gather information. That's just raw, right? So you can go ahead and diplomacy that.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm gonna roll luck on that because I see we have extra. Just in case. It's
I mentioned how you guys are rolling. Now it's three ones
yeah,
and
you
two
mentioned
fours.
it. You
So-
really jinxed it.
I am Jinx. I'll wear the wig and everything. Either way, so you find out that there are people that are saying that are being very boastful about what they'd like to do and how they'd like to burn that place down, kill her. You know, different ways they'd like to do stuff,
It's the
like
quiet
truly
ones you
gruesome
gotta
stuff.
watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you can get the impression that these people are like, they're part of the crowd. They're not leading the crowd, if you know what I mean. Like if shit hits the fan, if things go crazy, they have
quiet
mob
ones.
mentality. Yeah, but these aren't, you know.
Okay, can I, in that case, I'm obviously more looking for someone who's leading the conversation rather than the people going, yeah, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so something like that. This is where I'd allow you to do a sense motive instead, where you're just trying to like get the
Okay.
impression of, like once you've kind of like worked your way through the noise. Well, it's when Neil stops talking, you start looking.
That's more like it.
That's
Now
a
that I
good
know
one.
what I'm looking for.
I imagine you don't want to modify that one.
I'm good with that one.
You get a 4, and you're like, I just wanted a 1. So, anyways, looking about, you could definitely see there are disruptors in the crowd. There's no question in your mind there are disruptors in the crowd. People that are, you know, they get the solo cup, but they've been nursing it for a while. That sort of a scenario. We've all been there. We know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hold up though.
Yes.
But you're just because you got so high. These people don't look like they're necessarily here to act, though. They don't look like they're necessarily here to jump the defense line and go the way. You get the impression that they're probably here to. What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like as informants, like to collect information. I missed the word. That's fine. To gather information or whatever for reporting elsewhere.
Ooh, okay. Then I would actually probably relay almost that, saying there's a couple of people doing this, a couple of people like this. I haven't spotted anyone that's like raring to jump the fence yet.
Yeah, nobody's gonna Ray Rin jump the fence yet.
Rare and
Ray Rin jump the fence. Yeah, I got you.
All right. Okay, that's all I need to know. So yeah, he would say to her again, "Get all your belongings. Let your people
Oh, that's my.
let them go. Go where they may. Even take your boat. Do whatever. Let them go. Gather your things and let's burn it down tonight."
She could take a boat and go north, right?
She's gonna get on the boat with us.
Oh, okay.
All the ways I've safeguarded this place from being able to be charred the way it was again. The amount of money that could have been put into making it look nice inside here. Instead, diverted that way.
Let new things grow from the ash.
There's a lot of documents that are going to be needed. I'm old. I'm not going to be able to carry much. I'm going to need assistance in carrying much of the tomes that I'm going to have to collect from the study upstairs. They're
Have a wagon
important.
out.
She nods. They'll have to be loaded onto and then onto whatever boat we take. So I'm going to need assistance with that. And I can have my people that live here with me. She says, I'm going to have that, not my. She wouldn't use the ownership. She's removed far enough from that. She says, I'll have the people that live here with me lend assistance. But truly, just the four of us embarking on your vessel.
We have our guard.
And the guard as well.
Yes.
I understand. She says, and you can see that she's like probably thinking over the names of all the different people or whatever that, blah, blah, blah. We both have work to do. I might as well make a pot of tea and we'll get to it.
Well, we don't have long.
8 hours.
Yeah. So imagine this started in the evening, right?
Evening,
so then
not-
it's going
not
to be
quite
early
sunset, yeah.
morning.
Yes, it'll be like pre-dawn.
So we can
yes.
leave early.
Like one of those
morning.
you can see
Yep.
like a little bit of light at the horizon far to the east. Which, funny enough, you guys will be traveling east, but far to the east as you're embarking. So yeah, it'll help them notice you as you sail away. No, so
Looking into the sun makes it harder, not easier.
So either way, the you guys go about this business. Do you
I'm going to
communicate?
inform them, obviously, of what's happening, the plan and everything. Make sure that they let the guards know we'll be leaving early morning.
I need
stuff.
these boys because they are drinking to some degree. They have to keep up the facade, right? I'm going to need these boys to go ahead and roll me fortitude saves just to make sure they're able to keep full clarity.
I'm gonna lock that just in case, but I'm
Tristan's
pretty sure...
keeping it tight. I'll have another. He's like,
Okay,
Tris.
16.
He's like, no, it's all good. Another. No, it's all good.
This is where Gallon's like attempting to not drink on duty comes in. Now you find out why.
So I was born with half a liver. No. So.
Well, you know, stuff happened.
So either way, the you guys are able to kind of maintain your clarity. The DC wasn't crazy high, but Neil, you fluff and crush it. So Neil, your character is definitely able to be one of the guys, one of the warriors out there and drink and have fun. But keep clarity. Don't do anything foolish. If you start to feel yourself getting like a little bit tipsy, you kind of like hang back and start nursing for a little bit before somebody else kind of like a good 45 minutes later, whatever, go, oh yeah, I'll do a shot too. Just again, like, I got to throw more on there, but maintain it. So it's like the evening comes to a close, and I don't mean 8 hours later, because that'd be a long friggin' time, right? But as the evening comes to a close for you guys, it's probably like a good 5 hours later of drinking. You're definitely tipsy, but you have tipsy with tipsy with a cup of coffee, and tipsy with clarity tipsy. You know what I'm talking about? So you're able to hold it together where it's not impacting your mental faculties. You're just tired, right? Same thing with you, Tesh. Your character drinks significantly less and is able to hold it together just because he is kind of a nurser in his personality. It's not even something that's far-fetched for him to play like that. That's the way he is, even amongst friends and families and celebratory events. So it's easy for him to kind of like fall into that role and knows the ways of being like, oh yeah, ha, 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 the little sip, stuff like that.
Little sip, yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there. So either way, the you characters are able to maintain some pretty strong clarity. Again, a good 5 hours later on, as you make your way into the house. In the house, you can see things have changed. That wagon was eventually kind of like brought around the side, around back, to be brought into the place so that the horse can still have it, attached to it, and load a whole bunch of the books or whatever, or reattach to it. Load a bunch of books and whatnot on there, as well as other things of value. Now, I don't mean pieces of art. I don't mean fine china or fancy silverware or anything like that. Let's not be petty. She's not a fool. But I mean like other things of legitimate value, like gemstones and jewelry and stuff that would have actually still existed there. Mind you, the man that owned this place before, he didn't have much by way of money for those that know the true canon of the world, as opposed to just what's being showed in this one campaign. He didn't have a ton by way of money because of how it is that his empire was run or overrun. So he didn't have like a ton of stuff left behind, but she was able to acquire certain things. And don't forget, she used litigation to take back much from other people. So she was smart enough to not keep all of her money in a bank or in coin. She would be like, okay, well, I know if instead of carrying 500 gold pieces, I'll buy a small gem that will have that value that'll be easily transportable in the future. She's a brilliant woman, as Jake's character screamed in her face earlier.
I had to. She wasn't listening.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. I
was-
now know how to solve all my problems, which is scream at the person.
I just
Until they
like,
give in.
Poor
He's
Chloe.
trying to
love
take
that
this
we
away
went-
from me, right? I convinced the
It
not
was-
convincible. All
It
right?
was good.
It
It was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was great to watch.
It's just
enjoyed
really
that.
funny because I would.
I was there,
never
like,
have
nodding
pegged
along,
it to
like,
be
yeah.
something- Yeah, I just would never have pegged it to be something that we were doing in this campaign.
Yeah.
Was saving.
No, I want
lady
to leave it
favorites.
here. Let's be serious.
No, by the way, you can't say they're not convincible. Rayron did successfully convince her. Mind you, it took him several months of her being inside of a prison cell while her son was being hunted down and her
Look,
house being ransacked.
Stockholm syndrome does wonders.
It worked. He was convinced eventually,
I didn't just convince
All right,
her.
so let's
Changed.
Yeah, finish it up here. So she,
let's get
you get
on the boat and out of here.
You get all the supplies and whatnot. You think that's going to happen? Someone's still waiting to drop a trump card. So you get all the supplies and whatnot kind of like loaded up into the area. Hi, Anno. And you put them kind of like in the area, get things situated, get other stuff there that you need to, right? The servants are told they're not coming with, but they're welcome to take a boat for themselves after they set fire to the other boats, because she actually owned, for those of you again that recall, the two fastest boats in the entire lake were actually owned by her estate, right?
Perfect.
One of them generally head to the east to Bezo, one of them generally head to the west to Renetslav. So they are going to be able to burn down one of those boats and then ride the other one. Go ahead.
To note that to help the situation, once I sort of moved away from the crowd a bit to be off on their own to help, I would like to suit up for one, but I would like to stealthily help, maybe put some supplies on the boat stealthily, so that when they do go to escape, they can do so quickly and more likely to get away from the crowd.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, right? Once it's time to leave, the Gallon and the guard will take the cart and Greyris to the ship, get it ready, whilst Tristan and Karok stay with me. We'll set fire to the house once you are on the boat, and then me and Tristan will get on Karok and go to the boat.
Okay. That's a good point. Karok is way faster than me.
So, Carrick is going to bring the cart down there. You're not returning.
Okay.
You're not
That's a good
returning the
point.
cart. You guys are returning the cart. Fuck that guy.
What's he need
That's
it
actually-
for?
He's actually put up a good point. Karok
He
does need
rakes
to take the
leaves,
cart.
all right? Remember?
Karok does need to take the cart. I can stealth a little bit now, and I also have expeditious retreat. I can set the fire.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett's
Chat-
not taking the cut.
Chat doesn't
Yeah,
want
he
the
has
fire. Chat doesn't want the fire unless there's at least 100 innocent village people locked inside the
Stop.
doors. They don't want the,
The fire is needed. All right. That house is a house that, they tried to, change the image of it, but it's still that big house on the hill overlooking everyone else, thinking they're high and mighty. It's got to
It
be
is
burned to the
yeah.
ground. It's
Slave trade.
a symbol, and it's the wrong symbol.
Yeah, I mean, it's a-
Jake, did you live in a scenario like this? Like, it sounds
Yeah,
a little
he's
close to you.
empowered.
Like, what's
I'm
going?
liking it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right though. It's a symbol
Grew
of
up downhill.
It's a symbol of slavery, and it became a symbol of stopping slavery, and that's why the people hate it.
Mhm.
And if you can't change the symbol, then you have to remove the symbol.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
Okay.
Backing me up.
Okay. I will be waiting. So I specifically, I'm not. Wait. Okay. Is the boat more than 1 mile from the estate?
Well, so funny enough, the boat, if you go down a really rough, almost cliff face, because remember, the estate actually looks down at where the boats are. There's even like a built-in binocular thing that you can like look out and watch the boats in the marina or whatever
Will
you
that
call
be?
it. Hold on a
Will that
second.
be like
but you have to
difficult terrain?
get no, not difficult, like climbing, like
Okay.
actual skill check
Yeah,
terrain.
no.
So
this
that
is
being
fine.
said,
I can get
the
climb
long
speed.
way around is difficult. So for you can down there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So in that case, what I'll do is I'll give I'll worry. So when I don't, just for chat and your sake, when I don't have Virgil with me and I have my suit, I'm very much less combat able, but I am still, everything else is fine. So I'm going to leave Virgil with them so that I know when they're within 1 mile's range, and that's when I that's when I signal the people to light the fire on the boats, and I light the fire on the house, and then we go.
Okay. So you are going to kind of
You
get
have
all
a
these...
swim function too, right? With your,
I
thing.
can change from climb to swim when needed. So yeah.
Oh, hold on. I thought you can only change once a day that way. That rapid change.
No, see the rapid. That's so the normal one is I can change with a standard action to a certain number of times a day to any customization. The rapid change is a small set of ones that I can just constantly switch between.
Gotcha. So he can both rapid to climb down easily, and then rapid to swim and dive into the water.
Smaller
and come after
section, more useful for like quick reactionary stuff.
And it is said that the water's clean now. It is said that the water is no longer diseased, so you can just dive in.
That would be amusing.
Yeah, even if it wasn't, I would hope the crystal out suit would help at least a bit. But that's good to know.
Yeah, it is said that the disease has been cleared away. So that was a community curse, by the way, not even a trump card.
Oh my god!
I know. It's just
When
it was
it-
just
when it is-
positioned too perfectly.
When it is time, Viggo will hand you a bottle, and he'll say, "Throw this. When it shatters and it is exposed to the air, it will ignite."
Understood.
Obviously, the things have been set up in the room to obviously encourage the stuff and all that.
Of course,
Also,
like tapestries ripped off walls.
Understood.
This
Well-
can't be seen.
Tapestries ripped off walls, a wallpaper kind of torn, so it's hanging loose and more easily ignitable. You know, everything's kind of set up so it's like very easy to kind of catch flame there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And you are going to do as such, right? So either way, what was he saying? So you guys are going to kind of get this all situated for you to sneak around out back while they're all drunk. There's a chance that they notice your plan and they disrupt it. And I'm going to allow the disruptor, also known as Anno, to roll for this chance for him to notice it. I would say that you're careful planning and everything that you do.
Okay.
It's only a 15% chance. So Tesh, say what you want to say first, and then Neil, I'll let you choose the group of 15 numbers that Anno has to roll for them to notice you.
So part of the reason why I specifically wanted to stay behind as well is I now have, on top of my stealth, which is +8, I have an extra +2 because my armor, my suit, blends into the environment. It like takes on the color of the environment when I'm trying to stealth.
Yes.
So,
Which is cool, but I'm talking about them even noticing what you're planning before you guys.
oh,
get
the
to
whole
achieve
thing.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
So, Neil, what are the 15 numbers that Anno has to roll on a D100?
1 to 15.
Okay. Anna, roll a 16 or higher for chat, please. We all want you to roll a 16 or higher. 74. That's 16 off of max, so it's pretty close. So, anyways, you guys are able to not be noticed by the drunk crowd that are kind of like being rowdy and whatnot, because most of the stuff is happening at night, out of direct line of sight, and so on and so forth. Sure, there are people around trying to see what's going on, but with your extra guards that you were able to put in place, they're able to widen the perimeter that they have that's guarded, so people can't easily see what's going on. And this is up on a hill and removed. Like, you have to imagine it has like 1.5 of its sides exposed to people down below. And mind you, it has gates and everything too, right? But the backside is all where the cliff is over there. So they're not going to notice you guys preparing things out the back door. As for moving the wagon away with all the supplies on it, I mean, that's the same horse that brought in the alcohol. That's the same horse that was able to do this. So as the horse kind of makes its way back out to allow the plan to work, it's going to have to be, Tristan, aka Bluey. That goes and moves the horse down to the lakeside without anybody noticing. So Tristan's able to kind of, climb up onto his horse or move the supplies away or whatever he's doing. But how are you doing this without people noticing? You of course know this is happening. You know this is the plan. So obviously deception works in your favor here because you're straight up lying. But I don't know if you want to use like an intimidation instead, like you're telling people, shut your fucking face, I do what I want to do, or I'm not sure what technique you'd want to use. So
Going to get more booze.
He'll go with intimidate. People will ask, be like, do I look like a fucking merchant? Look, I just do what I'm told. I'm asked to move something, I move it. All right? Are you paying me otherwise? No. Then fuck off.
Then you take their beer and you drink it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's
pre-COVID. You flick the cup at them, like.
No, he hands it back and says thank you, but in a rude thank you.
Oh, you got to do the whole. I can imagine solo cup. You got to like throw it out so it goes boink up. I think I had more aggressive friends than you guys did. I think we were just meaner to one another.
Yeah, you're Americans.
Maybe not Jake. Jake seems like he probably hung around with a terrible crowd too. So.
Australians insult the fuck out of each other.
Yeah. Anyways, to escape the wife, nice. So you get out of there. Deuces, cool.
Sorry.
A lot of the servants are going to start making their way out as well, but they're going to do so by climbing down the cliff face, slowly climbing down the cliff face, trying to be as careful as possible. They have time; they don't have to go slow. Others are able to just kind of like walk out the front. Some that other people necessarily want to attack them directly. Not necessarily are former servants. It's not necessarily that they want to attack. Some of them, maybe. But you guys are able to kind of be careful with this one. Eventually, Tess, you're going to go on and go inside. Jake, how is it you get down with her out into the boat? Cliffside or around front?
No, she would have went with the supplies. She's invisible.
Oh, yeah. Glug.
Yep. I will do the same.
Oh, that's right. And this is going to happen because it's so much later. Just remember, it's 8 hours later plus later. Most of the people aren't even out there anymore. And people that are like so drunk. So drunk. All right. You got that wagon there. Well, look at the fuck. So anyways. And so, how are you going down, sir?
With the wagon.
Oh, you go in with it? Like you're sitting on the back of it?
Yep.
Okay.
I got a invisibility myself, which I can cast if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's right. So you both are invisible sitting on the back of the wagon, of course. Because yours is free.
But
yours is
no one can see that they're holding hands. But they both know. Well,
you see, as the wagon's going down, so is it now.
Like we're going down and the wagon's all bumpy and Triss is like, finally the road, it's cobbled, but the wagon doesn't get any less bumpy.
Like, well, there's some
He just
squeaky
grabs a
wheels.
stick and just stop, stop it.
Anyways, oh, you hear Viggo's voice, mate. Can you hear me that crop?
Oh no.
All right, I guess that's canon. All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, he concedes. Good. She's finally gonna have a new heir. So, anyways, the
Oh my lord.
I'm kidding. She's postmenopausal. So,
You have to roll for it, Scott.
no. She's
Is
definitely
she?
postmenopausal. She's definitely she's an older woman. So either way, the which no shame by any stretch. So you guys make your way down there. Of course, this leaves Tesh, who's going to light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
I'm waiting until I sense that Virgil is within range, which means he's down the cliff.
Yep.
And that's when I do the thing. Yeah.
I just had the image of like just Gallon's waiting there. A drunk guy comes out to pee and stumbles and spooks him, and Gallon's just like, "What? Oh!" And just hits the drunk guy. And just,
Extra flammable because he's drunk and covered in alcohol.
He's like shit, and he like just like grabs the guy by the back of his shirt, protected by the crystal, and just shoves him in.
closes the door.
That works.
Close enough.
No. So, anyways, you light the fire, and then as much as I'd love to be mean and make you take checks, when you put the climb aspect on your armor, when you have a climb ability, you're allowed to take a 10 no matter what, even if you are blah, blah, blah. And I think that climbing thing also gives you a plus 10 modifier. So that means if you take a 10 and you have a plus 10 on top of whatever your climb skill is, that means you're taking a 27, and a 27 is a really high check. So even though it's difficult to climb down this area, I think I said it at DC 20 originally, you were easily able to climb your way down with relative speed. That when you have a climb speed, you can move at your full climb speed, which I think the climb ability gives you a climb speed of 20 feet. So double moving down is pretty easy.
It just says have a climb. Let me double check.
It might equal you normal, but whatever it is, you're able to go down rapidly,
speed.
so you're safe.
Yeah.
And then of course, like you said, you
half base land speed. So you're correct. That is in fact at the moment
20 feet, because usually it's 40 for you. Okay, cool. So, cool. So you're able to easily make your way down there. There's no checks needed to make for that. There's no checks to set the fire. He gave you a goddamn alchemist fire. You know what I mean? Like, there's no checks needed to do that as well. Everything kind of goes according to plan. The question is the whether or not people are able to notice you while you're doing your stealthing. So I just need a stealth check from you. But honestly, you're in darkness, so anybody trying to see you anyways is going to have a huge penalty.
It's this plus an additional 2. Oh, that's not that good. Let me roll a luck on that.
There's passed out people. You've tripped over one.
So 15?
So that's 15.
This is representative of people that would be down by the docks, or people kind of all over around that would watch you kind of climbing down the cliff face at nighttime. Again though, it's difficult because of...
I actually... just out of note, I forgot the entire reason why I got this down cape. I would have cast Reduced Person and Expeditious Retreat to cancel each other out.
Oh, Reduced Person increases... You should probably re-roll with all the correct modifiers on your stealth. So
what does that change?
You were supposed to get a +2 because of your armor, and Reduced Person gives you a +4 for size. So add 6 to your temp modifier, then re-roll.
Okay. Thank you. It was the entire reason why I got the damn thing. I still rolled terribly, but which is amusing.
Did you roll worse?
I did actually roll worse.
That's awesome.
No, I didn't. Wait, that doesn't make sense. What?
You didn't change the modifier.
I didn't add the modifier because I hadn't clicked out of it yet. So that'd be +6.
So re-roll. Just get it in there correct, yeah.
It's weird that because I didn't click away. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It's very different.
I'm not even going to roll. I'm not even going to roll because you guys are too much of chickens to have natties, and they have a negative because of the darkness. So they can't notice you. You easily are able to get down there, get onto the boats. The boat was preloaded. You guys are able to leave on the boat. Her servants, or the former servants, set fire to one of the fastest boats. They leave the sailboats alone. There's no reason to burn those down.
We might need them for fishing. Like, let's not grief
Yeah.
the poor people.
Well, it's also more work, more dangerous, more. They burn down one of the fast boats just because it's fast, and then they get on the other one and they start sailing. However, they don't sail to Rennet-Slav like you guys do. They actually set fire to
sail
the fast
north,
boats
I
heading
imagine?
east. They actually get on the fast boats heading west because there's rumors that Bezo might be a freedom zone. So they're going to head
okay.
over that direction, heading west,
We're
allowing.
about to talk about Jeff Bezos.
Oh Jesus,
Please.
Jeffrey! No. So
No, you got the fucking
That place
And
has
then-
an Amazon factory there.
I have to go to work. So we're going to have to end the stream here with you guys heading over to Tiki Capro. Just as a heads up, next week is one of those weird weeks where I do a bunch of conference calls all week. So I still have work at noon, but it's like from here at noon. So we might be able to run a little bit over. I just got to check with Brittany first in case she needed me to do anything between A and B. But I have work at noon here that day. So, but we should be fine to
What
play.
time is it there now?
11. Yeah. So either way, let's anybody wants to say anything, Tesh or whatnot, as we prepare to leave.
Hi, I'm Tesh of the Test Tube. You can follow me under that name on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. The new world is coming out soon, so expect me to be playing that a bunch. That's at the end of the month. There's some other stuff that's coming out soon. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff that's come out recently, which eventually I want to get and play, like the Alien Fire Team Elite, stuff like that. So if you like any sort of RPG looter game or that sort of thing, come watch.
Awesome. And Neil, Jake, anything you care to say? Jake's still holding close to his chest his announcement. He'll eventually make it, but probably the new year. He's being weird. He's being weird.
If you guys liked A Mother's Love with Dean, Doxy, and myself, with my cutesy little sun elf, Arabelle Valanair, there's going to be a new sun elf on the block, apparently, over on Yarvaskit on twitch.tv/Ollyran. I'm going to tune in and find out whether or not this person can even possibly live up to even say a quarter of Vale and myself. So I think you guys should join and leer at them as well. But I don't know exactly when that's airing. It's just slowly being teased now.
I like being teased. All right, it looks like nobody I know is streaming at the moment, so no big deal. We're just going to bounce out of here so I can go take a shower.
Those Eastern European guys? Come on. We're tight with them now, Scott.
Just do it.
Do what?
He doesn't even know their name.
Oh, I don't know. I have to Google names or whatever. All right, bye, everybody.